And we are now live. Lekker. We can just give it a bit for some viewers to pull in. So we can, because there's a bit of a delay. I know we've got a couple of viewers that have directly messaged me saying they've got a couple of questions. There are some viewers that will have questions here. So yeah, we're now live. We've got a couple of viewers. Lekker mense. I'm just going to do an Instagram story so that can get more people on. All right, we're live now with Vincent. Just started. Come and join the live stream on my YouTube channel. Okay, pop that there. Ay. So, welcome everyone who's just tuning into the live stream. That's just joined us now. We've got Vincent online this evening with us. For those that have watched in the last live stream, know a bit about Vincent, know where Vincent is and what he does. Vincent is in the Eastern Cape in Port Elizabeth. Eastern Cape, Port Elizabeth, part of the Fair F Plus political party. But yeah, he has gotten into a bit of hot water recently after speaking out about the troubles. And like me, he's in trouble now. But Vincent has got some interesting information to share with us this evening about things that have happened in the last while in the Eastern Cape with the party after, recent events and recent things happening. We were just having a chat now. Vincent was saying that there was an internal investigation that went on. So, Vincent, let's hear what more can you give us?
Well, let's just give you a recap on what has happened. We had this investigation about last year's so-called what we call it, this kissing thing that we had. And then this year we had this investigation, and they came down. We had all our statements and evidence that was given to the people that was here at the bottom at Jeffries. We spoke about it. We gave our stuff, whatever, and then we were told, "Listen, we're going to give an outcome for this whole thing, whatever." Then we were told, "Okay, the outcome is there," and then we were supposed to go to this Lady Slipper again for the outcome for this whole thing, but I didn't go. A lot of us didn't attend it. We sort of decided it's not the right thing to do because the procedures are not right. So anyway, then we were told we have to wait. So the complainant that started this whole thing was told that he's not going to get it, that he has to wait. So now, I was then not start thinking, but why are the investigation that we were all on, the guy that was the complainant, he's not getting anything out of this whole thing. And then now he has to wait, I think, about 90 days plus minus under correction. But he has to wait now for the outcome for this. And why? Why are they hiding this from us? Why are they not telling us exactly what is going on here in the Eastern Cape with this investigation? Why are we supposed to wait this amount of days for this whole thing? And why is this thing just been scrubbed underneath the rug? That's a question that is now with everybody at this moment that was there. And we're all saying, but what's going on? This is a lot of crap going on now. We're the complainants. We're the witnesses. We put it all forward. Now we're getting nothing out of this deal. Now we have to wait. The damage has already been done now because these idiots already got their things back. They're not getting nowhere. There's no discipline towards them. There was some corruption as well, and that thing is not being investigated at this moment now. So everybody's now waiting for this so-called thing that we've done to be released. So I said to myself, okay, are they going to release it? Because if they're not going to release it now, what's to say over 90 days they're going to release this thing? So yeah, we've got a problem here in Port Elizabeth because of that.
I think they're
A
taking the
massive
90
problem.
days. The 90 days waiting period is for them to sit and decide, okay, how are we going to best cover this up? Most likely,
Mm,
because obviously we've had a chat in depth about what is going on in your area, and it is things that can get a couple of people put behind bars or like a hefty sentence, hefty fines at the least in the
mm,
court of law. So yeah, you always got to ask the question, like when we dealt with things internally here related to Freddie Robertson, who I recently did a video about my not so upstanding colleague in our council here who, was financially insolvent and allowed to stand as a councillor by the party and then lied to the High Court. When we try to deal with it in the party, they try to cover it up. The minute it gets out to law enforcement and the public, oh my gosh, you blow the whistle, boop, there, you're in trouble. So I think actually you guys should, before that 90 days comes, before they give that report, whistleblow and then tell them as well that the report's being withheld. Or wait the 90 days, and if they don't give you the report, whistleblow, tell the cops. Because that's one thing that I've realized now. Like, you in your area and in my area and everywhere else in the country where we've experienced the same problems, it's always covered up by leadership. So that's why I just say now, forget about it. You know about something that's gone wrong in the party,
mm.
report it to the authorities. Let the court of law deal with it, because they'll deal with it properly, not the internal wishy-washy nonsense of this party with this lack of disciplinary proceedings happening against people, and they instead want to give people like yourself trouble because you are calling them out for it.
Because my question is this as well. Head office, let's put head office at the top. Now they've seen this report, whatever. Now they're starting to think, okay, listen, we've got a problem now. Because this has now come out, and the people that are representing us at the bottom is making us look like idiots at the zone. So what do we do? Do we cover it up? Or are we going to talk about it? Or these people that has committed these offenses or crime, whatever, let's suspend them and let the course of the law take over or the discipline procedures take over and let them deal with the stuff. But they're not doing it. That is what I can't understand. Why is the party not handling that situation to say, listen here, this is wrong what you guys have done. I've listened to it. We have discussed it. We've got the report. I'm not going to hang on to this thing. I'm going to give it to the complainant. Let them handle the situation. And listen here, whoever's on the table at the top, whatever's, listen here, that guy needs to be criminally charged. That guy needs to be suspended. We have to relook this whole thing, but it's not happening. That is what's puzzling me. The wrong people that is committing all of these negative things are being put onto a pedestal, and they are the heroes of the day, which is wrong, which is so wrong. And I can't get it to myself why, if the French front are standing for what is right in life and what is the truth, what is supposed to have done, if I'm not cool, let's say that is how I'm seeing it. Why are they not correcting these problems? Why not?
Yeah, you got to remember there's also the other thing of nepotism. So certain people are protected because they have sworn allegiance to other people. And the guys on top are desperately clinging to power. So they have to protect certain people so those people will vote for them and keep them in power.
Yeah.
It's a tactic of desperation, which is exactly where we want them to be. They're so desperate now that now they're making mistakes. And I sit here and they throw jabs out at everyone, and I see them throwing jabs, and I'm like, yeah, you're getting desperate now, aren't you? You're very desperate.
Yes.
You're you're
Yes.
you're trying you're trying your damnedest. You can see you don't know what you've lost control. They've lost control, so now they making a desperate attempt, and in doing that, making that desperate attempt, they are burning their own fingers. Every single time they do something, they make a mistake.
It's like us here in Port Elizabeth. Now, I've worked it out exactly how this small little clan is running here in Port Elizabeth because they are only going to certain areas which can promote them, give them power, and where they can find what I call them sheeps, because it's only a sheep that will be voting for these people. And I said this once to them. I said to them, That is why I was so, how can I put it? So desperate was I called them out and I said to them, you know what then? There's a thing which has been said once. There's no honor among thieves. I said, let me tell you this. There's no honor among politicians as well. That is why they got so angry.
Well, wait,
Yeah, they
but
got angry.
Vincent, is there really a difference between a politician and a thief?
None
Yeah,
whatsoever.
not at all. I think at least
None.
a thief, a politician steals from a nation, a thief steals from one person. That's the big difference. But it's the
See
same.
that is what I said. Is that, and I had this with this Dr. Steer, and I said to a couple of these guys, I said, you guys need to understand one thing in life. The only reason why you guys are where you are is because you've got a nation that voted for you to be there to represent them. When it comes to voting, you are there. I promise you the world. When you're in the position to represent these people, you're not coming back to your word. You are basically tell the nation now to shut up. And I said to him, remember one thing. Come on, as a bitch. I said, when you must remember one thing. When these people wake up one day, and I hope that they will wake up, and the people will say, listen here, I am not going to vote for you guys ever again. Now, the thing is this, the word of one can be the word of many. And when that goes out, the people say, listen, you're winner. And that is why we've lost so much votes the last time when it came to the elections.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Sport.
of the poor service. And I'm telling you straight, and I'm not scared to tell anybody of the Vryheidsfront. I'm not scared. It's because of the poor service that we are giving to the public. You know, when I started with the Vryheidsfront name, I looked and I thought to myself, yes, this is the people. That's what I want. This is going to help our people. This is going to help us get out of the shit that we're in. I was wrong. We are not standing for the people. They, which has been elected, is only standing for the money because anybody can stand, and no offense, anybody can go towards any place at the bottom and say, I've got a piece of paper and ek voel ongelukkig. Hier is my papier. Ek is ongelukkig with it. And then when they get out, they go to the bar and they sit and drink together and say, yeah, you had a great speech today, eh? But you know what, ons sal hierdie kak uitsorteer. And then everything that you've said goes to file 13. If we as public ask, listen here, what was said? What was said because of all of this problem? And I'm going to specific points in Port Elizabeth with all the problems that we've got. There's a lot. Can you prove on a piece of paper what you guys are talking there behind closed doors? We are the tax collectors. We are paying the taxes for you guys to sit down there. What is going on? Now, Vryheidsfront was veronderstel, as I understood it, that was told to be, we're going to stand for the people and we're going to help. There's a lot of these things that Bill Harrington also posted down to say, we are here for the community. Which community? Which side of the community? There are people that needs help, and we're not getting that help. We are sitting with corruption. We can't even clean up on our own backyard. And now we want to try to help people on the outside. No, it doesn't work that way. We need to fix the problem from the inside first before you can fix the problems on the outside. And the corruption that is going on and the problems that is going on, it is huge. And it's not just here in Port Elizabeth. It's not just in the Eastern Cape. It's everywhere.
I mean, it's in my province too. Like we've got the shit that, like I said, in my doorstep. You know, the stuff in Gauteng that Cobus is busy dealing with. I mean, yeah, yes, it. But you know what? Like, I want to point out, and once again, as I said, it's because the party dishonored this flag and the promise that comes with this flag, as well as the promise that comes with the Vryheidsvlag, the one that is actually the official flag of the party. So they dishonored this flag. They dishonored these people. And as we look through we know the point 3 of the Grondwet, the VF Plus is an Afrikaner party. Go back to that point. Then you see the party doesn't represent us as it should anymore. So, yeah.
Liam, this is a challenge I'm putting out there. I'm going to put it onto your show for everybody that is listening out there. This is a challenge to everybody that is out there. Speak out. Get hold of Liam and speak out exactly what's going on in the Vryheidsfront. Speak out. Go
Not
out
just
there and
here,
yes,
like on public platforms, but uh, approach law enforcement with
yeah,
any evidence you have of fraud, corruption, embezzlement, any dodgy dealings in the party. Any evidence you have, approach law enforcement and the correct authorities. But also do contact me, do contact Quibus, so you can get in touch with our legal teams, because our legal
yeah,
team, like my legal representatives are the same people that are Quibus's legal representatives and legal representatives for a number of people in this party. So all the evidence is getting to a central point for the bigger
yeah,
case. So the only way we're going to fight this now, because of the absolute arrogance of the leaders in this party, the only way we can now fight it is externally through the courts of law. Otherwise, it's not going to go anywhere, because you've got a bunch of arrogant Poesneus broederbonders, en jammer
mm,
vir my taal vir al die ou tannies en vrouens wat nou luister. Like, I've been told not to cuss, but we've got very, very arrogant people who think that they're above everyone, and they want to now sway their weight around. And I actually want to show you something now, from Corne Mulder, a WhatsApp message he sent me in August. Corne Mulder sends me this in August. Okay, so you can see, I don't know if you can see the camera very well, but yeah, he basically says there, he threatened legal action against me because I spoke up against him. So obviously, as you see, I haven't responded. My lawyer told me I should just send him a laughing emoji and send him on his way, but I'm not going to respond. So that is the arrogance that we sit with, where no, he won't sit around a table and negotiate and say, okay, yes, we do admit these things are wrong in the party. We need to change these things. It's no, just like
yeah.
from a distance, sends a message, doesn't even phone you, doesn't even say, can we meet? Just sends a message and says, yeah, I'm going to open a case against you if you don't stop.
Yeah.
Loser.
The same with, the other problem we imported, which was quite big. That was, I think, 3 weeks ago. So I phoned one of the party guys that is here, and I said, listen, I need to get this thing resolved because I've got a problem. So he says to me, write a letter towards him and he will escalate it to the top. So now, that is before I try to get hold of the other two, which they don't even respond to their calls anymore. The one just totally blocked me. So anyway, so I sit. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep because of the problems that was there. So I started to write, and I thought to myself, wait a bit. This letter, which I'm going to write to them, to the Vryheidsfront, to these guys, they're not going to answer it because none of my previous letters was answered. So what guarantee do I have? If I'm going to write a letter about the complaints and problems that I've got of the community, that it will be answered? Nobody's, because the system is broken. Yes, South Africa is broken, but the Vryheidsfront system is as well. It's broken. We got a broken system and it's not getting fixed. It is, I won't say beyond repair. I think if we've got the right people that is in the positions to fix these problems and to take over and that can do the job, yes, maybe the system will be fixed and maybe something will work for us, for the people itself. But at this moment, nothing works anymore. And that's why I can't understand why people can't. Is the people scared? Don't be scared. Don't be. Yeah.
It's the same I say to everyone. Like there's many party members that have phoned me, and I say, why don't they speak out? And they said they fear their position, they fear the loss of their position, the loss of their employment.
Yeah,
Now
the money.
It's an understandable thing. And now something I also want to mention here now is recently the Bittereinders was declared a hostile organization by the VF+. Did you know that? Quite a few organizations were viewed as hostile organizations in terms of like party members may not be members there. Now, if I don't know if you know a bit of the history of the Bittereinders, but the Bittereinders, the founding members were all part of the VF+ youth, and they were frustrated by the fact that the VF youth does very little. And even now, I will say this online here, what has VF Plus Youth actually done this year?
Zero. Zero.
Okay, like the youth organization, it's like the youth reorganization weekend. I am gonna say this honestly here. No offense to anybody there, but it was a bloody joke, honestly. And there are so many people from the youth who left out of frustration because the fear of youth leadership. Now,
That is what happened to P.
no negative things to Krazan. Okay, I know Krazan for many years. We are on extremely good terms. I have a lot of respect for Krazan, but she can do more. She can do a lot more. But also remember, she is employed by the party as a staff member as well. So she can't always just do what she wants to or what's right. And that's the problem is some people feel like, oh, if I want to do the right thing, but my job, my employment, look at me over here. I don't care. My job's at risk. So what? What is right and what is wrong is wrong. But anyways, getting back to the point, the Bittereinders has been declared a hostile organization to the VF Plus. And so now party members of the VF are not allowed to support or be members of the Bittereinders. The Bittereinders has done nothing wrong. The only reason why they're doing this is because the Bittereinders supports Cobus Hofman. Because Francois and myself, like Francois supports me and what I've done. Now, Bittereinders hasn't made an official statement saying like, we take an official stance against the VF Plus or anything. Like the Bittereinders in its official capacity is a neutral organization, but because of certain stances, the VF is trying to distance themselves, and what I cannot understand is this came after I did my walk. Now, why does the VF want to view the Bittereinders as a hostile organization? If the VF, right? After I flew 2 flags on the walk. One of them is the official flag of the VF, the Vryheidsvlag. The VF doesn't even have the integrity to fly their own flag, but now they want to view the Bittereinders as a hostile organization. The Bittereinders has done nothing hostile towards the VF Plus at all. Has done nothing that contradicts. But no. But in fact, the Bittereinders, in its mandate, or what's the not correct term? Well, in its stance for the Afrikaner Boer, is more firm than the VF Plus stance for the Afrikaner Boer. VF Plus has on pen and paper it's Boer Afrikaner, but in practice not. The Bittereinders on pen and paper is a Boer organization, and in practice it is definitely a Boer organization. So, like if the VF Plus youth can just look at the Bittereinders and yes, forget that some mistakes were made in the past, but look at that energy that we emulate, okay? Walking 300 Ks for our Boer, okay? Pushing against people like the Bittereinders has got a court case against Julius Malema. And it's gotten to a point now where the Bittereinders as an organization has been approached by so many other youth organizations that want to work with us, but are no longer working with the VF Plus. Yet the VF Plus wants to view us as a hostile organization, or the Bittereinders. For those also out there, I collaborate as a friend of the Bittereinders, but I am not a member of the Bittereinders. In case you want to use that against me, because they'll probably use this against me in my disciplinary and say, does that.
I was already told, just to get to a different thing, I was already told when I was on your show, whatever, that I was not supposed to be on your show. Alhoewel ons die vryheid het om te kan communiceren en blah, 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 that I said to him, listen, nobody tells me what to do. Nobody. I do this because I do it for what is right. That's my thing. I fight for what is right in life. That is why I'm a community activist here where I am in my neighborhood. I'm fighting for the people that are here, that needs my help. And the thing is that, yes, there's a lot of conversations when it comes to we as Boer, a hell of a lot. And people are not happy with the Vryheids Front. They are not. They are not happy because of what. En I'm talking about the, so hulle noem die ouer, kan sê, ouer mense, much older people that knew the Vryheids Front, what it was and what it's now. They said some of them are ashamed because of this, because they're not standing for what it is supposed to have been. They're not standing for it anymore.
Exactly. Like, so let's ask this other question. We've got a couple of young parliamentarians, so like in Parliament, who are in quite good shape, I'd say, in terms of fitness. How many of them will even just walk from one side of the city to the other side in a march for our people? How many of them will get out there and physically be on the ground with our people at our monuments? You know, in the beginning, a few years ago, like Groenewald would get to all Memorial Days. Now, Groenewald is obviously a minister now, and therefore can't get out as much as he can. But even last year, he started lacking. He started, even before the election, he started, slowing down a little, which it left me a little worried, because Groenewald is still a good guy. It's just he's pushed in a corner. I said that in a video the other day,
Yes,
which, by the
I
way,
saw the video.
I sent the link directly to Dr.
Yeah.
Groenewald, and he hasn't gotten back to me. But I hope he does the right thing, because he is also somebody in the party that should stand up and talk up. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is, you've got so many of us on the ground here, working for our people, pushing heavy on certain things that is in the agenda of our people. But
Yeah.
where are the parliamentarians? Where are our members of parliament? No, sleeping in parliament and then going home and sitting on their couch with their beer and
Let,
watching rugby.
let me tell you this. You heard the expression from see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil.
Yeah.
Now, the same work with these guys. They don't want to see the problem. They don't want to hear the problem. They don't want to talk about the problem. For them, it's a simple thing, and I can prove it. I've proven it towards these idiots that is here at the bottom. As soon as the problem gets too big, and they can't handle the problem because the problem got out of hand, they are looking for a scapegoat or an exit door, which they're going to give over towards the other one. It's like, let me give you an example, towards our mayor Gary van Niekerk here in Port Elizabeth. Now he has resigned, and now he's going to be apparently the deputy burgemeester, and the lady that was the deputy burgemeester is going to be the burgemeester. So they're basically changing seats. So the question is, why so fast? Why? Because of the problems? Then it got me thinking, it's the same with what we've got. Nobody wants to handle problems. They're creating a problem, and when the problem gets too big, they're trying to find a scapegoat. Or what they're doing is they ignore you. Or when you start talking about the problems like we're doing now, pointing fingers and showing them what's wrong, whatever, they are like, you're the enemy. Nobody wants to listen. Nobody wants to listen and say, you know what, Nate? I suck up. I did it. It's there. My apology. But let me correct it. Let me fix what I messed up. But nobody wants to do it. All they want to do is, let's hide it underneath. Let's hide it underneath uh, the table on the ground, or just bury it. And maybe just everybody wants just forget about it,
Yeah.
which is wrong.
Here's an interesting comment now. Talk about hiding away from a problem. So this Patrick says here, the VF Plus says they're against the BELA Bill and probably are like the DA, but they not a no nonsense approach. But why not a no nonsense approach and walk out the GNU for that speaks volumes. That's a small piece of power and more money. So the thing is, the VF Plus, since becoming part of the GNU, has been much quieter about the BELA Bill. We've got the protest against the BELA Bill next week, which the VF Plus youth is actually attending. I will be there, myself and Francois. We take a much different approach on how we're going to fall in, but the Bittereinders is busy with something in terms of fighting the BELA Bill, a different approach from everyone else. But I don't have much more info on that. Got some legal experts busy working with some stuff. But yes, the VF Plus, in being part of the GNU, should stand up in Parliament and say, BELA Bill out or we're out. But here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. Hulle soek hy geld. They want that money. So it's much more beneficial to be part of the GNU because you get a bigger piece of the pie, ministerial positions, and involved in other things and other projects and opportunities to make cash, So we can all speculate, yeah. But it's like, since becoming part of the GNU, the VF Plus has gotten quiet on a lot of stuff. And we can go look, for instance, farm attacks. I haven't really heard much from the VF about farm attacks. And in fact, when I did my walk and ended up at the Bittereinders Monument, the only VF Plus leader that was in attendance at the memorial service at the Bittereinders Monument was Marcel Maritz. But Marcel Maritz, and God rest her soul, may she rest in peace. She departed from us a while back.
Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
Her loss was a big loss for us. She really did a lot for us. But, she understood the importance of looking after our people first. And she was always on the ground with the farmers. In fact, she was respected by all ethnic groups and all cultural groups in her province because of a no-nonsense, hands-on approach. So why can't our parliamentarians be like that? Have integrity. Marcel Maritz was one of those tannies who wasn't afraid to pull out a gun and threaten people and tell them, listen, you're going to do this or we're going to do this the other way. In fact, that story actually came from a Federale Raadvergadering in our party where she whipped out a pistol and told them, listen, you're going to stop your cuck now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're really going to miss that tannie. She really was the best. But people like that, now with her no longer being with us and having passed away, who from the VF Plus, in the terms of the leadership, is actually going to go to the White Cross Monument? Who of them are actually going to stand there and understand the scope and the vastness of this issue? There are thousands of crosses on that mountain. The day that I arrived there, I walked amongst the crosses and, read some of the names on the crosses and looked at some of them no longer have names on them. And, it's a heartbreaking thing. It really touches your soul in the deepest parts and just brings out a piece of you that wants to see this come to an end. It's genocide. But where are the parliamentarians to come and
up for that?
That monument struggles to keep itself afloat. It relies on public donations. Why is the parliamentarians that are so pro-Boer, the VF Plus members, why are they not making donations or getting down their hands on to clean up every year at the monument in preparation for the memorial? Why aren't they helping to keep monuments like that and others that's for our Boers alive? And the answer is quite simple. They don't care about us. They're in Parliament to earn a salary. They don't care about us.
That's my point. Just to come, I'm going to come towards the farm murders. I'm going to come back towards. I'm going to talk about this thing that you said about the BELA Bill. I wrote a letter when this whole BELA Bill started. Whatever. I had some conversations with about 3 teachers that was here in Newton Park about this BELA Bill, whatever. So it got me thinking. So I did a little bit of research, checked around on the internet, saw what the other parties was um, talking about, is talking about the BELA Bill, whatever. So I wrote a letter about it and I sent it off towards the Dagbestuur about my concern. With evidence, facts, everything, which I put it into this letter, why the concerns are out there because of the BELA Bill. And I explained to them what the dangers will come if this BELA Bill is not going to be attended to. Because the thing is that one thing that everybody is missing, and I'm going to say it straight, one thing that everybody is missing and they don't think about it, there's a thing which they call death. We don't live forever. Somewhere along the line, you're going to meet up with death and he's going to come and fetch you. And then when you are gone, somebody else needs to take over from you. Or you, Liam, or whatever the out there is to take over and do the fight forward. The BELA Bill is not creating that structure for the children for thinking out of the box or whatever. They are going to be controlled. And that is what's so dangerous about this BELA Bill. It's a control thing. It's about the thing which they were going to tell the children what to learn. So what generation do we have forward in life 10 years from now? What do we have? And that is what I've said towards the party. You don't think about tomorrow. You only think about now. You don't think about the generation that still needs to come, has to learn, has to take over because you are 70 years old. Are you going to be 200 years old at the end of the day? No, you're not. Some of your expiring dates is already over expired. You need just to go to an old age home and just relax and let the new generation take over. But you as an 80-year-old person is still sitting there behind a chair and you want to dictate to what's... It doesn't work that way because our youth are not educated properly. They had a problem with that, a huge problem.
Yeah.
And that was what the fight was. And when Dr. Groenewald was here in Port Elizabeth, I had that question. What about the BELA Bill? Because that bill is going to fuck up every generation that we've got from now until 30 years from now. It is a control system and it is going to mess up. What is the Vryheids Party going to do for the community and the youth that has to go through this thing? Even the teachers, everybody is going to be touched by this BELA Bill. They are looking into it. They are standing for it. I can't see what they're standing for. I can't. I still can't see it. You come to the farm murders. Yes, you're right. The farm murders are out there. Some of these when we had the Boer commandos, was there a problem with farm murders?
Because we had a quick response. We had men on the ground that had the right, license to kill.
We had our backs covered. Why not bring back the Boer commandos to protect the farmers? Why was it? I read the articles about why it was disbanded. I read the articles. Because I was heavy into it. I'm still into the Boer commandos. Why are they being taken away? They're supposed to not be taken away because that was the structure that was designed to look after the farmers. Yeah. And I still believe, bring it back.
I think, I think it was in Mbeki's time that the Boer commandos were taken away. And it was the fear of the wit gevaar, because all of the Boer commando members were all military veterans. The law with the Boer commando is if you were finished in the military, then you could join the Boer commando and you would be given a rifle that you're allowed to keep with you so long as you had a safe at home. So they were issuing out FN FAL R1 battle rifles to these guys. 308 battle rifles in the hands of Boer commanders. And with that system in place, because they're in the area, they would be able to respond faster than the police, and they had the right to kill. Yes. So that was something that the government was scared of, the wit gevaar. Now it's like, shit, they can't terrorize the farmers because now they've got these people that have the physical right to kill terrorists. Yeah. So taking it away was to disarm the farmers from that ability to defend themselves. And the excuse is, oh, the police will look after them. No, but the police do not. The police is so destroyed and broken and dilapidated, it can't even keep itself afloat. The police can't even
Now,
protect themselves. They need security guards of private companies to protect their premises.
until that's been stopped as well, because it seems to me that everything's been stopped because we as the farmers are being slaughtered out there. I think I sent you that one thing that with that farm attack that was now recently, if I'm
Yeah.
under correction. But it's happening. It is happening, and it's not going to go away. Now, if you take every farmer away, and and the DA is with this thing now. If you take all the farmers away from South Africa, where's the food going to go? Who's going to provide it? Are we going to start shipping it in from other companies so that we can have something to eat?
So here's the other theory. Couple that with the BELA Bill. Now, the BELA Bill seeks to basically dumb down and create a slave-minded mentality amongst the youth. They're not going to have the mentality to know how to produce food or manufacture or anything. So they become a slave. They become a slave labor force, which creates a reliance on global economy. In fact, like today, I just watched a video about globalism and global economies. And globalism seeks to create a reliance on foreign powers for certain things. So if your country steps out of line, the foreign powers can just create trade embargoes, and then you no longer have access. So why are they trying to destroy the farms? For one, to control the food supply, but two, so a foreign power can come in, and if South Africa's political sphere steps out of line, according to them, they can then destroy South Africa's food supply. It's all about creating a slave nation to control us, and it's wrong. We have to be nationalists. We have to look after ourselves, look after our families, our people, our communities, and maintain our right to learn in an education system that we deem fit for ourselves so that our children can be out-the-box thinkers and be independent-minded people so that they have the mentality to know, okay, I can produce my own food. I can manufacture my own goods. I don't need to rely on the West, or the filthy West, as I call it. I don't need to rely on the US or on Europe. I don't need to rely on China or on Russia. I rely on myself. Self-reliance. But the BELA Bill seeks to create a slave-minded population that is reliant on the state and foreign powers.
We've actually signed a death warrant when the BELA Bill was done. Because I think there was a thing that which Ramaphosa signed it off on live TV, and he signed it off, and he still showed it to the world, blah, 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 whatever. And then it was that one guy that says, Mr. Ramaphosa, you must sign the BELA Bill. It's for the future of our children. And I thought to myself, you know what, Nate? People, yes, I'm not fully onto what is going to happen when the BELA Bill is going to be done. But this I do know. If the BELA Bill is in full stream in the schools, everywhere, out there, and everybody has to abide in the schools with the BELA Bill, this country is screwed. No political party will fix it. We've got the time now to fix it. We've got the time now to fix it.
The BELA Bill isn't even limited to state schools. The BELA Bill, they want to enforce it into private schools and even force control on homeschooling as well, which is
everything.
Wrong. Yeah.
That is why, and that's the question which I asked Dr. Groenewald. What are the Vryheidsfronts going to do about the BELA Bill? Are we going to stand against it? Are we just going to talk about it? Are we going to take action and say, listen here, this is not going to be on my watch. This is not going to be on our watch. But,
you know,
and as I said,
there's actually two things. Now, this is something that two things we have to do. But the one thing I want to mention that in the past, the last time we gained in 2019, I think it was 2019, where we gained a huge support in the election.
Yeah.
About 2 years prior to that, Groenewald got up in Parliament and he said to the government, if you come for our farms, it will mean war. We will fight you. And that gained our support. We need to get up in Parliament and say, Okay, one, commando system or conflict. Give us the
Yes.
commando system. Give us state issued weapons to defend ourselves. Give us the
Yes.
commando system. Otherwise there will be a fight. So we demand that we want the legal systems in place, because we're not going to break the law. We're not going to step out of line. But if they don't give us the legal systems to defend ourselves, then we will give them hell. And the same with the BELA Bill. Leave our schools, or we will just take our schools back by force and throw all government officials out of the schools. That is the
Yeah.
way. That is how you have to tell them. Tell them, you leave. You give us what you want. You give us what we want, or we take it by force.
I
And
agree.
if
I
you don't
agree.
stand steadfast there and tell them, listen, this is how it's going to be, then they're just going to walk all over you. Because the minute you tell them that, they're going to be like, whoa, okay, listen, let's listen to these people because they're serious. Because understand this, we are Boer. We are not we're not afraid for a fight, and we are no strangers to conflict. We've had
Yeah.
near constant war for the last 300 years.
And what we've got at the end of the day, with this new future I'm serious, and I'm dead serious. If I'm looking, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, whatever, but if I'm looking to the future and what's coming for us, with all of these changes and things, there is nothing that's going to protect us anymore. Not the teachers, not our school kids, nothing. You're sitting with a generation that's just getting born now. They are getting and they still have to go through life with the education system that is still, they need to learn. But if you can teach them bullshit, and if they could be taught how to be controlled, then then it's a machine. You don't have a person anymore. And that is what I'm so scared of. If our generation is going to get destroyed. And you're right. If there's nobody out there from our generation to take over from the farms, we're not going to have food.
I think
Then we can be dependent on guys from other countries to ship this food into South Africa. We're not going to have food.
Another important thing, I think, that also got taken out of schools. I can't remember what they called it. Home something studies, home whatever. My mother said back in the day they used to teach you how to cook, clean, sew, iron, bake,
Yes.
all the
Yes.
things you needed for keeping your household.
It was in my schools here. When I went to school, we had it.
Okay, now I am meeting, and I am like, I'm like been single for a while, so I meet women here and there and go on dates. And you meet a 30-year-old woman who doesn't even know how to cook, like fry an egg or make toast. She can't even here the viewers, home economics, that was the topic. Home economics needs to come back into the schools, like, because now you've got a 30-year-old woman who can't even fry an egg. Like, I feel so frustrated. Like, I was raised braaiing with my dad, cooking potjie, baking. I can do everything. I can cook, I can iron, I can sew, I can bake. I can braai pretty damn good steak, And I mean, it's like my parents raised, like, the minute you could reach the stove, you were learning how to fry an egg, how to make bacon and eggs for breakfast. You wanted food, you made your own sandwich. The minute I could reach the counter, my mom's like, there's the breadboard, there's the bread, there's the butter knife, everything else is in the fridge. Make your own sandwich.
Yeah.
But we now have a situation where kids don't even, like, 30-year-olds can't even cook. It's a disaster.
The same when you can say when I was in school, we had a cadet. All right. Every Friday, you did cadets. You march up and down on the rugby field, whatever.
The discipline, that military discipline.
Precisely. Then you were taken to this. Once a year, we went to the. I can't remember where it was, but we went to this army camp for this whole weekend. All the schools together. We did that, and we marched, and we leopard crawled. It was fun. It was there. As you said, discipline was there. When I went to the army, I had that discipline. I was 17 when I went to the army. 17 years old. I turned 18 in November. So my father had to still sign the permission slip for me. But when I got to the army, you were taught everything of life. It was there. Your manhood started when I walked into the army. It was given to you. Yeah, it was. You had to work hard when you were in the army. It wasn't playing around there. You really was. It was, but it was memorable. How
Yeah, it's
many youth
tough at the start.
will go through what we've gone through? How many?
It's like I didn't have the opportunity to join. Like my generation didn't have the opportunity to join the South African military or the police because like there's no place for a white man in the army now in South Africa.
Yeah,
But I
it's
went
true.
the private sector route and got extensive training and had the
Yeah,
full military experience.
yeah,
And even went even further, getting specialized training. Now there's like guys from the SANDF who consult me for training sometimes, which I'm surprised, but uh,
it's good.
I
It's good.
decided out of my own. I want to go to the bush. I want to get fucked around by a corporal. Sorry for the toll. I want
Yeah,
to learn what it is to be a real man. Okay.
yes, yes,
And guess what? For like the first year of training, I never once handled a firearm. It was literally all about skills like
yes.
discipline, uh, teamwork, communications, observation, map work, navigation.
Yeah,
You learned the essentials of life. How many people do you know? Okay, I've even met people who are like 40 who don't even know how to use a map, who don't even know how to use a compass. These are things we learned on these bush camps. How
yeah,
to navigate. Like everybody's so reliant on technology. Put a map in front of them and tell them to drop coordinates. They can't even
yeah, yeah,
find it.
yeah.
I still remember in the one on the one camp. Now, I've always been good at map work because my mother's a geography teacher. So we get given a map that said, here is the coordinates. They tell us out the coordinates. Find the point on
Mm.
the map. Everybody's trying to measure. I'm like, drop the pen. It's that building over there. The instructor looks. He looks at me. He gives a grin. My whole team tells me, "Oh, just go away. You don't know what you're talking about." They came to me 5 minutes later. They're like, "You were right." I said, "Exactly. I know how to use a map. You don't need to
Yeah,
waste. Once you're used to it, that's the kind of skills that the next generation needs, and that's what the military teaches." So people think the military is just a place that teaches you to be this bloodthirsty, murderous,
monster.
genocidal
It's
monster.
not.
It teaches
That's
you
not.
discipline. It teaches you discipline. It gives you structure. It gives you order. And it teaches you a handful of skills in order to
Yes,
survive and be a better person
precisely.
independently. To be independent. Okay, so if you couple military discipline with home economics in school, by the time these people are 20, okay, and they've been through
Mm.
school, they've done with the military, you have upstanding citizens who know how to stand their ground and
Mm.
understand what it is to work part of a collective. And then the nation
Yes.
goes forward. But because we don't have those structures in the country, we're pretty screwed. And
Oh, we
and
are.
and and like you see the difference. I see the difference like with my father, for example, like who spent extensive time in the military doing about 9 years of service overall, almost a decade
Yeah.
of service overall. You see the type of man he is with his integrity and the way his character is versus a man who's maybe like 5, 10 years younger than him, who just was at the age where they cut off the military age. And you check
Yeah.
what an absolute knob and moron that person is compared to someone like my father and my father's generation. Okay. The guys in their 60s and the 70s who were in the military, and then guys
Yeah.
under 50 and under who weren't, you see the difference. Okay. And then even with the guys 50 and under, or let's go my generation, people my age, I know a hell of a lot of guys who've gone French Foreign Legion, who've gone to British military, who've gone to different militaries, foreign regiments. When they come back to South Africa, and their character, if you knew them before they went and then you meet them after, it's like an entirely different person. But then you look at them versus like their peers who never went to the military, you
Yeah.
see a completely massive difference. And you see actually how stupid their friends are in some situations versus how they handle the situations as disciplined individuals. And we actually, last night when I was at that Halloween party, we had an incident with one of my friends. And then you see how people in the group, like myself and one of the other guys, he has extensive experience in private security, and like specialized security. And myself and him were the only two people that were calm while everyone else was panicking. You see the difference. You see the difference.
But
You know?
but that's what the whole point is. That is why I was from the beginning so against this BELA Bill, because it is taking away the structure. It's taking away the structure about the kids that needs to grow up to be at that level. If you could, it's like this. We've been taught 1+1 is 2 in school. That's it. 1+1 is 2. Now, for example, now you get to no, 1+1 is not 2. You have to find out why it's 2. Now it's not 2 anymore, it's a naught. As an example, that is what the BELA Bill is. It's a confusion, it's a structure that is breaking you down in life. It is not giving you nothing. Nothing.
You, you,
Nothing.
you, you know what? Uh, you know what that line comes from? 1+1 is 2, but 1+1 is not 2. It is now 0, or it is 1. You know where that line comes from? George Orwell, 1984. Big brother,
Okay.
because Big Brother says so. That's the whole thing. So
Yeah.
George Orwell, 1984, the book talks about these things, and these are the things towards that absolutist authoritarian government. It was a book based around what the communist ideas would do and what communism does, where they change things so much to say what is no longer is. What is what we tell you it is.
Precisely.
And
And that's
exactly in
and
the
that
book they talk about that line 1+1 equaling 2, but 1+1 now equals 3, or it equals 1, because 1 and 1 doesn't make 2. 1 and 1 makes 1. That was the argument in the book, and that was the law that was changed in the story. And that is scary shit. That what George Orwell wrote about and warned us about is happening in society now.
the problem is that if you look at society, if you keep society dumb, as I have to put it that way, so that means you're going to sit with a community, you're going to sit with a generation that's going to not have a sustainable lifestyle anymore. They're going to be growing up because I want to be a gangster, I want to be do this, or I can't get a job, whatever. So another thing is, now here's the main factor of life. If you don't have a job, a proper job, or anything that you can sustain, and you don't have food to eat, now hunger is a monster. You will do anything, and that is why crime is so high. That is why you've got now people that has been instigated and been put, and I'm not saying it is that way, but if you look at what's going on about crime itself, crime is it's a huge, huge circle of problems that we've got out there. Even the farm murders. These guys are coming over because they are maybe getting contracts to do the farm murders. I'm not saying it, but as an example.
Well,
But
there
there
is
are so
evidence
many.
of that. There is evidence of contract killers.
But the whole point is this: the one leads to the other one. The one leads to the other one. An
Poverty leads to
uneducated
desperation.
nation, an uneducated nation is going to create chaos in the future, and it's coming. And that is what I've been speaking about, and I've spoken to the party about it, actually to MP, and we had a conversation. I remember we had a conversation about it when I was in Cape Town with a specific person, and I spoke these words to him.
So this book here, okay, this is The Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith. I believe that the socialists should actually read this book. It's quite a lengthy book, yes, The Communist Manifesto is a book that is about as thick as a cell phone. It's about the size of the cell phone. Is the Communist Manifesto, right? So you can see the idiocy in the size of the books. Compare the size of the Communist Manifesto to Adam Smith's Wealth of Nations, which is an economics book, which talks
Mm.
about the importance of a self-sufficient nation and an educated workforce as well. It covers on those points about an educated workforce because it's true. A lack of education leads to poverty. Poverty leads to an increase to desperation and an increase in crime to madness. Anyways, I just want to answer some. There's some points that people are making here. See, Ortho Boer says the book 1984 is almost prophetic. Yes, to a T. George Orwell is almost prophetic there. And hunger can make the best person in society do the most evil things. And I mean
Imaginable. Yes.
the way this country is pushing us is people out of desperation will do some nasty things. You can only beat a dog for so long before it turns on its owner. Now, I saw this comment from Patrick. The BELA Bill, expropriation, and basically the new Bantu education is all part of the ANC's NDR plan, their National Democratic Revolution, a road to socialism. It's all about total control. Now, they call it National Democratic Revolution. Whenever an African says it's a democratic revolution, it means no, it's an authoritarian communist overthrow. There's nothing democratic about this. In fact, I am a staunch, how can I say it? I am staunchly opposed to the ideal of democracy because of how flawed it is. One man, one vote does not work. It got us in the mess we're in at the moment now. I think only certain people should be allowed to vote and others
Yes.
not. Based on a couple of things: education, tax paying, military service. But anyways, this guy sums it up pretty well because it's everything the ANC has been doing is pushing people to have a greater reliance on the state. What does socialism and communism want? Socialism inevitably pushes the society in a way where the state provides to people at the expense of a certain class.
Mm.
But now, like the people on the ground, they feel entitled, or they feel now, no, they want more from the state. But now there still is a thriving, like small microeconomy in the township economy, they call it. So people are still too independent in the mind of the state. So what are they doing now? The BELA Bill. Take away the ability to even start business, run business, or even count money. Because now if 1 + 1 no longer equals 2, but only equals 1, how can you then count your money? Which means it creates then a greater reliance on the state because people no longer have the ability to trade and engage in commerce because they no longer understand the systems of economics on the basic scales. Hence, therefore creating the need for feeding schemes from the state and a slave labor. Now the people are subservient to the state because they no longer know how to provide for themselves. It's all about, it's actually not just the ANC's agenda, it is the globalist agenda of the West. And the way in the impoverished communities, they just take away their education. But in the upper class communities where you have home education, they force degeneracy down the throats of the children. This satanic LGBTQ nonsense pushed through the education systems down the throats of the children to make them into degenerates so that they can fall into the lower class and then their next generation, their offspring, falls into that slave labor. It's about destroying the middle class. A society with a large middle class is a stable society. A society with no middle class is a society that has been destroyed.
Well, if you think about it, then, if you've got a nation that can't think for themselves, then you've got a nation which you can control. Now, if you've got a nation which you can control, which is happening now, scarper, then what you've got nothing left.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a system that is sitting and they will tell you, you know what, Nick? That's right. What you're seeing is right. But you know it is wrong. But due to the fact that you've been educated or uneducated and you're following somebody that will tell you to do that, that is where this whole world, I don't know, that is where everything is going so wrong. Everything is not, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I see it in our political parties, they're right here. If you tell the people, you do have to do that, you have to stick to that because that is the game plan of everything, you must do it, then do it. That is what this BELA Bill is going to do towards our generation. It's going to create a future for them where they're not going to think for themselves. So that means their generation's generation is going to be more uneducated, which they are at the end of the day. And
Well,
then you're going to sit with an apocalypse.
it's already like that. I remember and one of the viewers viewing now is actually a school friend of mine. I remember we went to go visit our school probably about 2 years ago when I last visited there.
Mm.
And we saw the level of the discipline and order in the school, and literally in a space of how long? 5 years or so? In a space of like 3 or 4 5 years, the school, how much the discipline had degraded and gone down. How now you've got the head boy has got like facial hair. They got kids with their hair growing all long, looking like this fucking 2-minute noodle fucking hairstyle. You
Yes.
know, it's ridiculous. Kids with their shirts hanging out, busy running down the passages, swearing at the teachers. I'm like, what the hell? I said to the principal, what's going on? He's like, nah, you know, this and that. I says, no, you're just a cock principal. If you really are a bad principal, then how does that happen? Like, I remember, like, this is Ortho Boer is my friend. And we did a lot of trolling. Yes, we trolled that school big time because we were also both told that we would amount to nothing in life. And Ortho Boer is studying to become a priest. And here I am as a politician. So we're doing good in society, I guess. But it's all just the schools, like every generation. And my mother is a school teacher. She's been a school teacher for like 30 years. The children she taught, I remember when I was, in fact, actually some of the guys that work for my dad were taught by my mother in the local high school. And they are extremely well respectable, disciplined people. Okay. But then you look at the kids going out of the schools now, 20 years after they were in school. Okay. Big difference. Even they were complaining the one day and said, these kids these days, you know, there's no discipline. There's none. And then they want to fight in their neighborhood. They want to fight with like the older generation, trying to impose discipline or give them trouble. Like, you know, I don't know if you know much about the culture of the Cape Coloured. Now, the culture of the Cape Coloured is the entire, especially in the middle class areas, okay, and also the lower class areas, but the entire neighborhood knows who's who and looks after the kids. So if you're going to go and make trouble on the street there is going to be an old auntie who's going to come out with a belt or her slipper or a plucky, and she's going to whip your ass. And then when you get to your friend's house, his mum's going to be waiting there with a wooden spoon to whip your ass. And then when I get back home to my house, to a white household, my mom's waiting with a wooden spoon because the whole neighborhood knew. And and it's now even that is starting to degrade, where when that old tanny who sits on the corner, who used to chase the kids for making trouble, is now being physically attacked, and now is like locking herself behind a security gate, like, because it's not the same. Like, and now it's like the next generation, it's like, how dare you hit my child? Or even this, my mother heard from some people, how dare you fail my child in school? Your child failed because he couldn't get to the standards. You know, now that attitude.
Let me tell you this. if the world is not going to wake up, if somebody's not going to do something about this BELA Bill, and mark my words as I sit here today with you and talking, this is what's going to happen to South Africa. We are already living in our own homes as behind your own private little jail because your fence is higher, you've got monster dogs, security companies, you've got more ammunition and firearms to protect yourself in your own home. You can't send your kids out to the yards to go play. There's nothing because of the kidnapping, the murders, the robberies, whatever. It's already worse now that we've got it. And that is 2024. What's our life going to be in the next 4 years, 5 years from now?
Yeah,
What is it going to be? We are
we're
already prisoners in
right
our own little lifestyle that we've got. We are looking for a place for safe haven, for somebody that can speak up for us out there to say, listen here, we have a problem. You are the guys that's going to start fighting. We voted for you. Fight for us. Get our rights back as a white folk before it's too late.
But you know, that's
Nobody's doing that.
what
Nobody's doing that.
we are now in the ideal, and it is unfortunate to say it, but we are in the ideal circumstances for a nationalist fascist overthrow of the government, because what is the greatest opposite to communism is fascism. And the more and more I talk to people, the more and more I see that our general Boer folk are fascist. Now, what is fascism at its foundation? Okay, having a strong, unified people, having the will of the people be the will of the state, having a strong, unified religion in the people with a separation of church and state. So the people have Christian moral values. In the case of Italy, it was Catholic values. The church and the state are separate, but the will of the people is the will of the state. And the people have a strong national identity. Even today now, fascism is on the rise in Italy again. Their current president is the granddaughter of Benito Mussolini. So everybody in the West, everybody says, "Oh, fascism is evil. Fascism is evil." Yeah, but then you see the anti-fascists and the shit they do. Fascism, and this is my controversial opinion, fascism is good. Fascism is great. Read Benito Mussolini's book, The Fascism Doctrine, and you'll understand what it's all about. It's about creating a strong, tight-knit society where the people and the state are one, unified as this one strong body. And that is, there's going to come a time where that's going to come, where the people get so fed up from the state being so distant from the people and disconnected, that they're going to push these huge nationalist movements and the state will be overthrown. And that's actually something I see the other comment here when we were talking about the BELA Bill. So they care nothing about nationalism, populist, and culture. And that's actually something you got to think of. In this country, we are naturally a conservative country. All the Bantu tribes are conservative, or they have their traditional values, their traditional systems, which is being destroyed by what the government is building. Now we look, and I use the Zulus as a big example. The Zulus are the biggest Bantu tribal population in this country, 28 million Zulus. They have got a major nationalist movement, like Jacob Zuma with the MK party. They are extremely nationalist, and you could also, to an extent, say they're fascist. And it's controversial opinion again. It's good that the Zulus are nationalists. It means that they're looking after themselves, and they're opposing the will of the state, because the state does not want the cultures to know who they are and have a strong national identity in their culture. Because when
the
you have
identity of everybody, precisely. Same with the white people.
When each and every culture stands strong on its own, then the two cultures can actually collaborate towards building a strong state, because now it's like we have an understanding. Our culture is strong. We have met the needs of our people. Your culture is strong. You have met the needs of your people. Okay, but in the broader scheme of things, we're two small groups. We need to
Yeah.
collaborate. And that's how you
Yeah.
create and founder alliances and collaborations. And that's how you create a sense of unity in the country. Not by imposing multiculturalism, but by allowing nationalism to flourish in the form of civic nationalism. Nationalism with the understanding that there are other cultures as well. Your culture comes first for you, but respect other cultures. That is the important thing we need to look at as well.
But it's not happening. It's not happening. Unfortunately, it's not happening. If you talk about, look, my point is this: is that look what we had and what we've got now. We've got nothing. There's nothing that protects us as, and I'm not trying to be racist here. We as a white, there's nothing standing for us. We've got no culture anymore. Everything that we have or had has been taken away.
Well,
if you look at the
everywhere.
October the 10th, Krugerdag, we don't have it anymore. That's gone.
There's a handful of us, and like I said, how many of our parliamentarians actually turn up at these monuments in these days? I'd be interested to see if any of the VF Plus members of Parliament will be at the march against the BELA Bill on the 5th of November. I'd like to see if they're going to. In fact, I call you out now, the parliamentarians of the VF Plus. I call you out now. I want to see you there on the 5th. I want you to show us that you really care about us.
Yeah.
Calling them out. Because I know the youth are going to be there for sure. But the parliamentarians, you're the ones with the power to make decisions. You're the ones in the position to stand up in Parliament and tell the government to stop this nonsense. So get there. Get your asses in gear and do what you're supposed to.
And I think everybody from all provinces needs to get up there and just raise their voice. Say no to this BELA Bill once and for all, before it's too late. If nothing, that is the scariest part of everything. If the BELA Bill is not going to be stopped, and if this BELA Bill goes into full gear, it is game over. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe I am wrong. But my point is this. I can see the deterioration about what's happening in our country because of education. The people out there they don't know what is right or wrong anymore. It's like this. We've been taught the 10 Commandments, right? You've been taught the 10 Commandments. These days, when you go to a court, you sit and listen. This guy, and it's on the newspapers as well, because the radios, he stole. Okay, so where is he? Now he's back on the street. Oh, he was murdered, somebody, but he's now out on bail. Or whatever, because it is not the principle of what you have done anymore. No, you can do whatever you want to do. You can do whatever you want to do and get away with the system because it is what needs to be proven. An uneducated person that commits this crime, it's like another run through, like the breakings, like the murders, like the farm murders that we've got, whatever. It's because our educated people doesn't know what is right or wrong anymore. They don't know it anymore.
Well, even now, look at the degradation and the destruction of national heritage sites. Now, talk about the loss of culture. When I go to Pretoria, okay, or even in Nelspruit the other day, I saw a black kid walking around in baggy jeans hanging halfway down to his knees, like looking like this skater, New Yorker style. I'm like, this is a Western style. You are an African man. Why are you dressing like this? And it's a sad thing that Western media has degraded the beauty of our culture. We have in our country, all the different cultures each have their own beautiful, vibrant, colorful, traditional clothing. So why do they not wear those traditions? Why do they want to wear Western fashion? The same with our
Mm.
Boer. Like on Heritage Day, I say to our white South Africans, why are you wearing traditional African clothing when we have traditional Boer clothing? Wear your traditional Boer clothing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
the woman with the voortrekker kappie. That is a beautiful thing to see. You know, men wearing brown suits, like
Yes.
the Boer and the gray suits like back in the
Yeah.
day, you know, dress like your forefathers dressed, embrace your culture, but it's slowly being taken from us. And now, back on the BELA Bill, something else that um, it's also going to put a fork in the road is the BELA Bill also seeks to impose itself on the private schools as well as on homeschooling. So now, people who make the decision to homeschool their children because of the degradation of the schooling system are now going to have to be subject to bending a knee to the BELA Bill, which is wrong. People have the right to give their children the best education they possibly can. And if that means homeschooling your kids, then homeschool your kids.
Yeah.
But for the BELA Bill
It's
to
your
try and
choice.
take away a parent's rights to do that is extremely wrong.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If this ballot bill is not going to be stopped, then South Africa are in deep shit because it is going to take everything away. Even the teachers that is committed with the standard of teaching and they know how to teach, even they will be affected because they can't teach anymore what they need to be taught. They are going to be told, listen here, you need to work from a script. That's the script that you have to work from. That's it.
Mm.
If you don't like it, cheers, bye bye. Now the
You,
system is also going to say, listen here, you're not going to have 30 children anymore. Now you're going to have 90 children out of school. That's your job. That's the script. That is it. Is this ballot bill going to create more teachers or less teachers? Because at this moment, we're not sitting with enough teachers. We are not.
People don't
Everything
want
is
to be teachers. Like I met a guy. His nickname is Olapis.
uh,
Um, he was a teacher, and then he got banned from being a teacher because he had so much issues with the discipline of the kids that he just snapped one day and he smacked a freaking teenager in the school, one of his students. And he's like, he loves teaching, he loves children, but he just couldn't handle it anymore. The lack of discipline.
yeah,
All
there's
he
no
all he wanted to
discipline.
do was just smack.
When I was in school, jy het 6 van die bestes gekry. And then you complain to your parents about why you get, then you word weer gemoed. But why did you get hit? Because you did not listen to the teacher. I remember school. That was school. You had a blazer, you had discipline. It was there. If you look at
You know,
these kids today, you thought myself, gee whiz,
you
which
know
school are
now,
you from?
nowadays, like you've got kids like in my mother's school where she teaches that want to stab her with a pair of scissors. The kids can't even have scissors anymore in the school. I remember I was in an Elson school, so I don't know
Yeah.
if you know, that's basically a school for autistic kids. And
Uh-huh.
we were not allowed to have sharp scissors. We had to have those scissors with the rounded edges. And even at one point, like in fourth grade, no, you're not allowed scissors. You only in seventh grade where we were allowed to have scissors,
Yeah.
um, because it was a hazard. Okay, for
Yeah.
us,
Yeah.
you got a bunch of autistic kids. It's a different story. But still, like that is where we at, because it's like kids are a hazard and they want to stab each other or stab the teachers and that. Now you got kids taking knives to school, guns to school. Actually, funny enough, I in matric, out of a principle of safety, because of how unsafe school had become at some points, I was writing my matric exams while I was armed with a weapon to defend myself because of certain people in the school.
Gee whiz.
And now you got like a bunch of 16, 17-year-olds. It's like, yo, I'm a gangster. Ek deel van die nommers. ooh, they think they're big because they're now a numbers gangster. I'm like, gee whiz. Now they want to bring that into schools. And the
That
teachers
is
can do
why
nothing about it.
that is why I'm saying if the BELA Bill is going to fail our generation will have nothing after school. Because if you look at a person that is uneducated, who's going to employ them? What job are they going to do? Are they going to go to the police, military, judges, lawyers, doctors? What job are you going to give to a person? The only thing that he's going to turn to is gangsterism, lawlessness. He's going to become a criminal. And what's going to happen? We're already sitting with too little jails, overflowing with criminals. You're going to have a nation out there that is going to be more criminal activities. And then you, as a law abiding citizen, are going to be in your own private jail. You're going to become like your body is going to become a tank. Your house is going to have no windows. You're not going to have dogs anymore. You're going to have crocodiles in front of your place to protect you and hyenas to protect you. That is
So
how bad things going to be. And now, then a lot of people say, "Yeah, I'm a drama queen." No, I'm not a drama queen. This is the reality of life. If you look at our military, if you look at them today, the discipline that they've got, and I thought, and I know when I was in the army, I had browns. You were to the teeth. It was like neatness. Now, what do we have today? What do we have today?
the police look
We
like all very sloppy, and the military. I gave some guys. So I was actually this one particular day I was uniformed, and it was for private sector operations. But I wear brushstroke camos, and on this particular day I was wearing my instructor uniform with my epaulets of previous rank. And I had to go see a colonel at a military base. I walked in the front guards. His shirt's hanging out. He's got a cigarette in his mouth. I looked at him. I gave him cut because he thought now I was an officer from a collaborative unit.
Yeah.
And I said to him, where the hell is your discipline? Your weapon is sitting there leaning up against the wall. You're sitting on the chair, slouched, shirt hanging out, cigarette in the mouth. I said, firstly, you're not allowed to smoke while on guard duty.
No.
Secondly, tuck in your fucking shirt, stand up, pick up your rifle, and stand with your rifle there in your arms. He's like, yeah, but I'm tired. I said, no. I said, you stand through your entire guard shift. Okay? You've got a shaded area. You stand with your rifle in your hand to attention during your guard duty. And this was at one of the bases that's here in town, permanent force. So now, that's how some of them are. But when I went to visit Regiment Boerta's base, I saw what real discipline was. Those guys were on point, okay? But then you've got guys like PFs in town, in the base in town, like where they're being seen by the public, lacking discipline. But the guys who are operational actually have a bit of discipline, So there is some discipline in our military, but I mean, the guys that are in the public eye just look like shit most of the times.
But see, that boils down to everything at the end of the day. Everything in a nutshell. If we do not have somebody to rely on, the BELA Bill, somebody like the commanders to look after the farmers, um, people to educate our generation to take over from us, our leaders that we've got, our own people in the French front. What do you think is going to happen with everything that we've got now in the next 5 years? And when is our next election? Our next big election?
5 years
In
time, and
2029.
I can tell you,
2029.
we can already start listening to some Serbian and Bosnian 90s tracks because Balkanization, here we come.
Yeah.
Yugoslav 2.0 South Africa.
Yes.
There is no doubt about it, because now the BELA Bill, like a lot of the big focus, like next week, the 5th, the big protest against it is because of its effect. It's a thing against Afrikaans, the thing of removing Afrikaans. So AfriForum and the FRK, doing this whole thing. But it's effect on everyone, and anyone who is a sane-minded person in any other cultures is going to get up and they're going to talk to their traditional leaders and say, we can't do this anymore. And now a lot of the traditional leaders are paid money out of the tax coffers to just keep quiet. But at some
because
point,
they don't have children.
Because at some point their people are going to get fed up, and now you're going to have, now the government thinks, we defeated the white man. Yeah, but now the Zulus just started a war. Oops, what are you going to do then? Oh, well, but Tututuana has redrawn its borders. What are you going to do then? When you have we've got 14 different cultural groups in this country. If all 14 simultaneously tell the government, we've had enough, and take up arms, you have a very big problem. You have a very, very big problem. Even if just 5 of the groups stood up and joined forces and said, right, we've had this, we want to cordon, we want our own country, we're going to cordon off. And everybody's still saying KZN, Natal, Zululand, it's going to go independent. I can guarantee you before the next election, they will have balkanized.
Yes, they are going to go independent.
The Zulus are extremely militaristic. They have their own PMC, their own private military company. Guys, this is a security company. They've got, in Zululand, the security companies, those guys are well armed. And it's all Zulus. They only hire their own people. They look after their own people. Us as Boer should be doing the same things, looking after our own people, employing our own people. Yeah, but it's easier for a white man to, employ a black man and pay him half the wage than a white man, which is wrong. Why do you want to? So you'll exploit a black man,
but you're not willing to do it.
But you're not willing to hire a white man at a decent wage, because you're not willing to hire a white man at a decent wage. I was speaking to a guy, a Russian, not too long ago, who wants to start a security company to protect the Russian community in South Africa and in other African countries, a cross-border security company, because the Russian people have quite a few business interests in South Africa, and he only wants to hire Boer. He only wants to work with Boer. But why? Because we're culturally very similar, but also because we have integrity, respect, and discipline. And he feels they also the Boer are as close to the Russians as you can get in South Africa. So out of a cultural principle, it's easier to work with us. So they want to work with us. A lot of miscommunication in companies come as a result of language barriers and cultural barriers.
Yeah. But we've got a long way to go. We've got a long way to go, and all the alarm bells is going off. And if we are not going to take action, and that is why I doubt it if all of them is going to come next week for this BELA thing. I won't have my hopes up. I won't keep my hopes up for that.
I don't even think we'll see one. I can guarantee you, we won't even see one parliamentarian.
Because the thing is, it's all about money. Money makes the world go around. Money talks. Money is the evil of all roots. So when it comes to money, can't live with it, can't live without it. So money. So that is the main thing of everything, and that is what my whole problem was, especially with this idiots that is here. It's not about the problems. They don't care about the problems. It's about the salary. It's about that salary. It's about their lifestyle. It's about the hours that they sit in, and they bullshit their way around this whole thing, whatever. And they have got this fixable clan that's keeping them to keep the money flowing into the pocket. And all they do is, as soon as you start talking and say too much, it's like, just remember, you're getting a salary. You open your mouth, you don't get in, and we kick you out. Somebody will also replace you. So what do you do as a council, whatever? You shut the fuck up. Good. Now you understand the laws.
Not me, no. Not me. I don't shut up.
No. Look, I think if they put me as a councillor down here at the bottom, they're going to start running, because I will give them hell. I won't keep my mouth shut. I will not. I will give them hell like I've given these people here PEL. I will not keep my mouth shut. To fight for the right thing, to fight for the people. No, but I will
Yeah,
not keep my mouth shut. I will
there's a
not.
thing. Yeah, there's a thing called principle and moral values. Your moral
Yes.
values and principles tell you to act in a certain way, so you're going to act in that way.
So, and that's the thing. You are getting programmed, and you have to learn by that system. And it's like a script that was given to this is the ABC script. You either learn the ABC script or Fricky, next, stand in the queue. Maybe you can do the ABC for them. That is what it's all about. You either do as you are told or you are gone. And that is wrong. That is why everything is screwed up. That is why the system is broken. That is why everything is been just been passed down and that it's been given and you have to do it and that's it. If you don't like it, you don't have to like it. You just have to do it. And two people run millions, and that is wrong. How can two people or three people run 100,000 people, and 100,000 people are scared of three people? How is that possible? Doesn't the
Exactly.
majority rule?
I want to
That's
see
that is
something
it.
now. I want to see if the membership figures. I want to see if there's membership figures of the VF Plus online. How many members we have? Because I know in our province we've got probably like 70,000 members or something, but not everybody's active.
Yeah, same here for Lisbeth. And some of the people that I know, they just said, "Stop it. I had enough because it's not working.
You know,
It's not a
like
workable system."
we don't have any information here to find the membership figures, but I know what it is in my province, and I know what it is in a few provinces. We've got a few, like we've got like easily 100,000 members of this party. Okay, so you think of that. We've got 7 leaders on top who are being difficult in the uitvoerende and the dagbestuur. Yet we've got like 100,000 members. 7 people versus 100,000.
That's my point.
You
How
know,
can seven people tell the rest of the 100,000, shut up, keep your mouth shut, you do as you are told, otherwise get lost? How come seven do so much damage? What power do they have? And that's the thing. That's the thing which I'm trying to teach people. You are being chosen by this 100,000 to sit there. So you as seven, shut up and listen what the 100,000 say. If the 100,000 say you must do it, then do it. You are the voice for the 100,000. But now it works in reverse gear. The seven says, choose me. I am here. Now that I am here, you as the 100,000, keep your mouth shut, stay in your lane, and if you step out of line, then we're gonna have trouble.
we can go
How
and
is that possible?
we can go a step even further and like say, okay, what about that 200,000 that voted for us, the over 200,000 and the 400,000 before then? That 200,000 votes that we lost in the election is the people that were just like, we don't like what's happening. Isn't that answer
Yes.
enough about the leaders, you know? But then we can go a step even further. The almost 1 million or 800,000 unregistered Boer, isn't that answer enough that you're doing the wrong thing? If you've got
Precisely.
800,000 people that are not registered that can vote for you, to put the party's results over 1 million people. Yeah, but oh, we know everything. Like Corne Mulder always says there, ek is die langste dienende parlement lid.
Ah,
Jy weet nie van wat jy praat nie. Dit is onwaar. Oh, la, 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 all the bloody time. They always want to make it as if they know better than us.
yes,
When they
yes,
just look,
yes.
get to grassroots, get to the people, talk to the people, and say, okay, what are you what are you expecting as the people? When you start talking to the people on the ground, like how you are out there with the people, and how I'm out there, and how Quibus
Yeah.
and all these other people are out there, you'll start to see that they will respect you. They will respect the party more because you're making an effort, but then also you'll understand where the party is going wrong because now you
Yes.
hear what the people, their perspective is and what they're disgruntled about. And, if you go out and you speak to 1,000 people and 990 tell them, or 900 of them tell you that they're unhappy with the VF, that tells you a lot. 90%.
2026, we're going to have our municipality elections here in Port Elizabeth. I think it's all over the show. But let's focus on Port Elizabeth at this moment here. And I said to him, Peter, we're not even going to have one. If we do have, okay, by some miracle, and I mean it, a huge miracle, get one ward, just one, it's going to be a miracle. The reason why we've got no name, they think, the Dagbestuur think that we have a name out here in Port Elizabeth. We don't. The guys that is at the bottom think, due to the fact that they're sitting there at the bottom, everything is honky dory. It's not. And it's all over the show. It's everywhere. The people are government. The people are the people that's going to put you where you are. If the people is going to say to me, Vincent, you know what, Ned? We like what you do and we can see that you can do the job. That's it. You are the man. You are the shit, whatever. We're going to give this war to you. You run it for us. Get our problems solved. I can't even say that. Because the fact is that I don't have a backing of the bloody Freedom for Plus that is helping me to promote them, to get it out to these people, because all they see is the negativity that we don't do shit for these people.
Yeah, there's no support.
And what do? We do nothing. Yes, anybody can go onto Facebook and put a picture down. I'm standing behind rubble. We as the Vryheids Front, whatever, we are here for the community. But you're standing behind a piece of land that is full of rubbish. Where's the people standing behind you? Or you go to a person's house in the northern areas that was burned down. Okay, we are here. We burned down, whatever. But what about the other 10 houses that was burned down? Where were you by standing with them? You weren't there. The floods. I'm here with the floods.
It's
but
like
what about this?
Something that never got onto social media, right? So myself here in Nelspruit, whenever there's a national crisis and our CPF chairperson is very reluctant to allow me to help because he thinks I'm a bit of a liability, but I'm there. When there was like national crisis in the country, we had the police minister come here to our province and address then we were there, members of the CPF, security companies, and the police, all ready for like if shit hits the fan in town. I think it was the last KZN riots or national shutdowns or whatever. Point being, I was there with them. I was the only one of any political affiliation who was there with firearm, in uniform, equipped, ready to help the security and the police for when trouble arises. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm always there, even though the CPF guys are like, we don't want to have another person that we have to worry about. I said, no, I'm here to support, And then when there is like, just when there's things going on, you don't need to post it on social media. The people see you're out there, you're helping, But then it's like, you once again ask the question, where's the rest of the other, leaders of the party? They're very quick to, it's like a selfie. Look here, we're busy with this, we're busy with this. But the guys that aren't always on camera are actually doing a hell of a lot. If you were to get on camera the deeds of the most hardworking people in this party, yes, you would have a very impressive social media backing on that,
Yeah, but here's the whole thing. A lot of people ask me, are you with the Vryheids Front still? And I said, oh, yes, yes and no. Because the thing is, yes, I'm still there, but no, I'm not being recognized anymore to be part of the Vryheidsfront. So then I asked him, but I'm still a community activist, helping the community, answering questions, doing this, that. It's like today. Today I had about 3 meetings with the communities that I was set up, that I had to attend to. Then I thought to myself, you know what, Nate? If the party was that really interested in the community, they would have sat with me and those meetings with the community and listened to the problems. But they're not listening to the problems. The Vryheidsfront, especially here in PA, they've only got a couple of things that they want to do. If there's a problem, okay, there's a problem. Are we going to solve the problem? No, we're not going to solve the problem. It's the same thing with this BELA Bill. Same thing. Are they going to stand up? And as you said, I don't think they're going to be there. I'm not. I'm the reluctant to think that they're going to step up and try to help with this BELA Bill. And if they are going to help with the BELA Bill to get it squashed or redundant, whatever, who's going to do it? Corne Muller or Dr. Groenewald? Which one of the two are going to stand up for that? Which person are going to stand there and say, listen, yeah, I'm doing this march with you, and I am saying this is bullcrap.
You know, like even besides this, would you even see any of them put on a pair of gumboots, gloves, and pick up a shovel and go and clean up like a flippin' like polluted river, or be on the ground with the people doing like physically hands-on helping, or like another thing, you know, like Cobus Hoffman was part of the safety policing forum for the province of Gauteng when he was in the legislature. He was part of the policing committee
Yeah.
and security. So he was hands on with the police doing raids, putting on a vest and taking a firearm and being with the police doing raids. How many of our parliamentarians have actually got the balls to put on a vest, pick up a firearm, and go with the police and go do a drug raid? They don't. They don't. I don't even. You know what? They gave Quibber shit for being a hunter and owning firearms. Okay.
So what are you going to do if I start owning firearms?
I own my guns. I love my guns. I'm a sports shooter. I'm a sports shooter, and I'm a hunter. Every firearm I own is a licensed firearm. You know, but I'm always willing to pick up arms when there's big shit and go to the cops and be like, I'm here to help. Put me where you need me. But will the parliamentarians do that? Nah. You know, some of them are too fat to even run down the street. Or too skinny to pick up a firearm.
Some of the guys that I know that is here at P, they will be with their cell phones, clicking. Look, I was here, clicking. I was here. And then they start running the other direction just to show that they were there, but then they start running. Then we ask him, listen, what did you do? I was there. No, I could see on Facebook that you were there because you were clicking. But what did you actually do? And don't tell me that you gave 2 breads of rolls and some packet of soup or to something like that to a person. No, it doesn't work that way. What physically did you do to help these people? We had examples here in Port Elizabeth. We had examples here in Port Elizabeth where we had these floods. And I saw some of the comments that was made by the Vryheidsfront, and I'd look at it and I thought to myself, but you weren't even, you're looking at places that is not actually relevant to the problem. Come to the problems where there's really problems. Stand there. But now you are there while the sun is out. You don't have to get your shoes dirty. You're standing behind a bunch of rubbish at the back, and you weren't there. You weren't there when the water was running in your suit, whatever, because you don't want to make your suit dirty or your shoes dirty. You wait until the shit is done, and then you come afterwards, and then you stand there, take a couple of photographs, and tell you, now I'm the hero of the day. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. I've been spending time, you know, when we had these problems, whatever. There was a lady in our area. She didn't have power for 4 days. Every day I was by her house, checking that she was okay, making phone calls, getting arrangements, trying to get the ward officers so they can get the problem fixed. Eventually, we found the problem after 2 days where it was broken down. But constantly, I was there for 4 days. My wife is my witness. 4 days straight, to every day, phoning her through the day at my work. Are you okay? Is everything there? Do you need everything? Get organized people, security companies, just to make a turn to see that she's still all right. She was 72 years old. That is what I'm doing. And I don't put it on Facebook or say, this is what I've done. No, I don't do that. I go
I
out
mean,
and I help the people. I'm not there for a gold star. And that is what I said to these people, to these idiots here. My job is simple. I'm doing a community job. If people, you know what, my motto in life is this. If people want to ask what person I was at the end of the day, and you sit at the bar and the guy said, yeah, you know who's Vincent Roberts? I said, yeah, you know what, mate? I know him. He was a good oak. And life goes on. I don't want to have a book or a statue or whatever. I just need people to remember who I was and what I did for the community. I don't here for a gold star, a certificate, a book compliment, or to be some famous. No, I am just here to help the community and to stand for what is right, the truth. That is
yeah.
all I want to do.
And at the end of the day, it's the community you live in. So if you're unhappy with the state of of affairs in the community you live in, and you can
Yeah,
at least make a difference, it makes not only the lives of the community members better, but it makes your own life better.
yes,
You know, you're doing it not only for them but for yourself, because you felt like compelled to make a difference here because you're unhappy about it and you don't like the way things are. You know, it's like
precisely.
if you see a park that's a mess and the grass is long, like that's how I made my name in Nelspruit, just going and cleaning up the parks, you know. But I did it not because I wanted to make a name for myself, but because I saw like I'm really unhappy with the state of the park, how the park looks. It's terrible, and you know, went and cut the grass. And even now in my neighborhood, there's this one resident. She doesn't have the means to cut the grass in front of her property,
Yeah.
just the pavement area. So myself and others in the neighborhood, whoever gets to it gets to it. But like now during summer when we got our rains, like every 2 weeks, either myself or somebody else will be there with a brush cutter and just cut the grass to keep her pavement clean. You know, and we
When we
help
had problems here in
looking
our
good.
neighborhood, when we had problems in our neighborhood, uh, I got myself a yellow light on my bucket. I was part of the neighborhood watch. Then early in the mornings, I will put my orange light on my duck and I will drive through the neighborhood. The people knew who I was because I was the only one with my bucket with a yellow light and it was flashing. And the people on the crew say, "Ah, Vincent, she just passed my house. Ah, Vincent," and that is what I did. I drove around with a yellow light on my bucket, and I didn't do it because it was fun. I did it because I want to protect myself, my family, and my community.
Yeah.
Did it make a difference? Yes. No. I don't know. But I did my best, and I'm still. Sometimes if it rains, I put on my jacket with my rain gears, whatever. I do my patrols, and I walk around with my torch, and I will look, and that is how people knew me. I was doing not to get a gold star. I did it because I want to keep my family safe, and I want to keep my community safe.
And
That's it.
besides like even if you don't like encounter anything in the evening and that, besides that people see that somebody is doing something, it also compels other people to also join in. So now like you probably find over time that now there's like 5 or 6 people that start joining and doing the same thing, you
Yeah,
know, and
yeah.
it makes it so much easier. So now would-be criminals know now in that neighborhood there's a lot of people that walk around at night
Mm.
watching the houses, so they can't go try steal because they'll be caught. It makes it just so much. It just takes one person as the start, and then it's a ripple effect, and more people do the same. And That's how you get things on the roll. And that's how you motivate a community to stand up for itself, by just being the first to stand up and do something.
When I did the first community meeting for the Vryheidsfront in our community, I put it out, I did it, I wrote my letters, I sent it through. I was the only one, the only person that did a community for the Vryheidsfront where the community listened to the problem. My letters were then given towards the police, the burgomeester, to safety, to the speaker of the house. It was handed in towards them. Nothing came of it, but at least I went forward to do something to see if it's going to work. If it didn't work, it didn't work. But at least I've tried. And because I've got so many things which I'm doing, I am now, today, been cut off a lot of things because I'm making too much noise at this moment now. I'm making a lot of noise for a lot of people, and I'm making it uncomfortable for them.
It's too much work for the top people, and the whole thing is that the guys on top don't want a lot of work. So here's like the main theory of the VF Plus. The VF Plus is undoubtedly a family business. There's only a handful of people that are on top. It's a family business. Now, in order to maintain control, you have to weed out anyone that's a potential threat. But it's a lot easier to do that in a smaller party. So they're fine with taking a loss in this election because it's a smaller party now. They're earning big enough salaries. The important people are in positions earning salaries. And the party shrunk in its membership size. People have walked. In Nelspruit, I had people from some of the most renowned families in this town that turned their backs and left the party. People that were members that have now walked. One of the biggest farming families in this town, the one son, his girlfriend, and her sister were part of my branch. They're out. Now, everybody is just disillusioned with the party politics. They don't see a point in being part of it anymore because it's going nowhere. And the
party doesn't want to see
ridiculous.
But the party don't want to see it. The party don't want to acknowledge that there's a problem. They are willing just to, you know what, if they want to go, they go. What they don't understand is that the good people are walking away. The rotten apples are running this show, and it's bringing this party more down the drain. It's bringing it down the drain, and at the end of the day, the party's going to stop functioning. It's going to stop existing. It's going to be another bedroom story. That's what's going to happen.
Well, I mean, if you saw my last video where I called out Groenewald to stand up and do the right thing. So I mean, think about for a second some of the things I said there. Okay, the party needs to clean up all the problematic people out who are protecting the leaders firstly, who are protecting party members, and then after we've taken the leadership and we've got the right people there, we have to purge the party of all problematic people on the grassroots. And you know of a few, I know of a few, simple incidents, people that, still get SASSA grant while working for the party. Other people who are financially insolvent, people who have criminal records and that shouldn't be in positions of power, and clean the party. And once we got this party clean, it becomes a true reflection of what the morals are of the Boer, then only then this party might still gain back the trust of the people. But we have to have a nationalist overthrow of this party. This party must be taken by Boer nationalists, because this party was created initially as a conservative party. It is the only party in its manifesto or its grondwet that says it's an Afrikaner party. Now, the term Afrikaner is being used less and less in favor of the term Boer, but Afrikaner and a Boer is fundamentally, ethnically the same. So this is the only party that has that foundation, and we have to take it as a nationalist movement. This party must, and this is another controversial opinion of mine. This party must be converted from being a conservative party that is slowly going down a liberal route to reject liberalism and become an ultra-nationalist party for the Boer
Yes.
folk.
Yes. Yes.
That
I
is the
agree.
only then that 800,000 Boer that don't vote will vote for us, because I can guarantee you 90% of them are all fascist.
And they will see hope. Hope will be restored back to the people at the end of the day and say, listen, yeah, that is what we want. That is what we need to stand for. That's the party. We can't say it now.
Parties with leaders who are not afraid to pick up firearms and go stand with the police to protect the communities from rioters and looters. Party with leaders who are not afraid to put on a pair of gumboots, pick up a shovel, and clean a river. Party
Yes.
members who are not afraid to have sleepless nights to protect the community. Party members who are not afraid to get up in parliament and demand and threaten the government and tell them what we want. That is the leaders that we need. People who have balls of steel or
Yes.
balls of tungsten. Okay?
And then can
That's
say,
gonna
listen here. And that can say, listen here, but that's it. We're not backing down. That is what we want. No negotiation. We're not going to entertain you with all of this circus, whatever. That's it. Finish class. That is what we want. That is what we want. And I
yeah,
can
exactly.
say at the end of the day, if you don't give it, there will be shit. There will be consequences.
The reason why we're in so much of have so many issues now is because we were willing. The leaders of this party were willing to compromise with the government. They compromise the whole time. The government, they're like, we want this, but we are willing to negotiate for this. No negotiation. The time of negotiation is over. They will
Yes.
give us what we want, or we will fight for it. That's simple. No more beating around the bush. No more pussyfooting. Forget about their feelings. Forget about offending people. Forget about that they are the majority. We will make demands. Look, they have the audacity that when they have, like, when you see the protests of the and these riots and stuff that break out, they always making demands, like
Yeah.
demand. Okay, but they always lead to violence, which is not the right thing, and they don't do things in the right manner, and they achieve nothing. Whereas when we make a demand and we tell them that there will be consequences, our consequences will not be a riot. Understand, our consequences will come in a different form that will scare the living shit out of you.
Yes.
But it's also important we need to unite our people before that. We need to clean the party. We need to unite the Boer folk. We need to have a nationalist overthrow, that all Boer stand together, and then
Yeah.
we need to make our demands. And if the government doesn't want to give us what we want, if they don't want to back down with the BELA Bill, if they don't want to give us the commando system, we need to take 1 million people and march on Pretoria and stand in front of the union buildings and show them the might of a united Boer folk.
It's like Donald Trump the one day said, yeah, because I listened, I actually laughed when he said it. He said he's going to change the country where a man is a man and a woman is a woman, where there's no confusion that the man is a woman or a woman is a man, or this new simple ideas that is out there. And when you ask a guy or somebody, especially, what is the term for being a woman, then they can't even answer that. That is what we need to know. Who's who in the zoo and what needs to be done to be created for you are a man, you are a woman, this is right, this is wrong. There are no in between, there's no gray areas, there's just yes or no, and that's it. That is what it needs to be.
Anyways,
That's
by
the
the
thing.
way, Groenewald is addressing the nation now, the state of the prisons at the moment, this evening now at 8 o'clock. But I'll give that a skip. It's probably going to be a positive feedback because I've seen that the prison systems have improved. There are
Guys doing a good job there. Man.
when I was on my walk, actually, we bumped into some correctional services guys from Nelstroom, and they were actually saying, "Look, Groenewald has been very strict on the guys in the correctional services, but they respect him." They said it was about damn time that they got a Boer in charge of the correctional services, and they said that they must put a Boer in charge of the police as well. You want the police in the military to function in this country? put a Boer in charge. Put a
But
Boer in charge.
do you know why they don't want that? Do you know why?
Because
Corruption.
the thing is, cater deployment and
Money.
that. If you have a disciplined Boer who know what they're doing, who have experience in military and police, if you put them in charge of the military and the police, it will create more discipline and functionality of those
And
systems.
stability.
Stability, so the police will be able to better perform at their job and function properly. But then that'll also expose a lot of the crime committed by politicians, because now the police is on them. The police are going to be on
Oh,
them. It's a
yes.
functional system. The police is degraded to a point where they're unable to attend to these issues, so that politicians can get away with these crimes.
Well, if you look at the radio, if you listen to the radio every day, it's this guy did that, this guy did this was stealing with this millions, that was stealing with that millions, and everything is just stealing, stealing, stealing. And then you've got this wag the dog type of effect. Then you ask, what happened to that? Then suddenly there's nothing. It's just disappeared. It's out of the blue. It's gone. But listen, you guys just talked about this whole system. Apparently, now that I've heard that there's under correction, there's this firearm corruption story as well. Apparently, a firearm that is 13,000, 14,000 costs a tender 80,000 at the end of the day. About this big use, it's just corruption all over and over and over. It is everybody is doing corruption, everybody is stealing, and it's like a disease, it's a plague, it is this virus that is running around, and everybody's thinking, fuck it, if you can do it, I can do it. And
Yeah,
he's getting away with it, so I can get away with it.
we've got
That's what it is.
a toxic mentality where opportunists. And I actually last night I had a chat with one of my followers, Stefan from Los Angeles. So Stefan and I chatted about a few like things, and also some of his experience in LA versus South Africa, and like he actually, like, I noticed on his story, he posted a thing in Pretoria on the one street. Okay, in Google Maps you can look at the street view from different years. So he looked at the
Yeah.
street view from 2010 of a particular street corner, and then he looked at the street view of today. In the space of 14 years, it went from being a sprawling, clean, neat area of town to being completely dilapidated and wrecked. The buildings looked terrible, the roads were wrecked,
Yeah.
everything was messy. And, it's like, how can we allow this? But, anyways, so the chat we were having is, and I actually also had a chat on the similar topic. I think the same topics come up with a lot of people. I had a chat with a guy from Action SA, one of their staff members, who I've
Mm.
known for many, many years. I knew him before he started working in the political field. He was also involved as staff in media for the Good Party as well. Interesting character. I've known him for quite a number of years, even before, like, beginning days of my political career. And we were talking about the VF Plus stuff in particular, and the state of the country, and the issues with the government as a whole. And it's the same topic that comes up with everyone. It was the same with this guy, same with Stefan. The government is full of a bunch of opportunists. Opportunists who see here's an opportunity to steal and make money because there's a disorder. So they take that opportunity. It's the same in the VF Plus. The party is being filled with a bunch of opportunists because the
Yes.
leadership is so degraded to the point where, as long as you shut your mouth and you support Mulder, you will be protected. As long as you support the agenda of the leaders, you are fine. You can earn your salary and do sweet nothing.
Yes.
So
As long
opportunists.
as you keep your mouth shut.
As long as you keep your mouth shut, you support the right people, you can be a convicted felon. You will still be able to sit in your seat and earn your salary. And it's the same
Yeah,
in the
like
government. The way it is in the government is the way it is in the political parties. Opportunism.
And the thing is, this corruption, that I would have thought that by now the French front would have done something better at the end of the day to say, we are not going to follow the same route as the rest of the others. We're going to be an example for the people out there that we will not stand for corruption. We will, if you make a mistake in the political front with the French front, that you will be suspended or fired or locked up with a criminal case if you do anything that's against other crime, against the law, or against whatever we've got at the end of the day. That you will be held accountable for your actions at the end of the day. But now it's not.
I personally think that in the beginning, with like the Anton Alberts case, um, Peter Groenewald was the first one to report and lay a complaint about the Anton Alberts situation, which then the entire Dagbestuur debated, which he was part on, but majority of the
Yeah.
Dagbestuur are against, are the entire Dagbestuur basically are against Groenewald. And they're so divided like that. So Groenewald's complaints about Anton Alberts and that stealing of 100,000 rand didn't get anywhere.
Yeah.
Groenewald should have immediately taken that to the police and he should have immediately reported. Because he's a renowned parliamentarian reporting on a crime, they would have dealt with it like this. And Anton Alberts
Precisely.
would have been behind bars for fraud and for stealing party money. And the same with Jaco Mulder with misuse of party funds. He should have also, like, forget about the internal dealings because nothing happened. He got a slap on the wrist and he never even paid back the money. Fuck it. Charge him. Let him go to the courts. That's like I said earlier. No more internal processes of sorting it out inside the party. We had a chance to internally sort this out. Everything goes to the courts. Everything goes through cases now. Everything goes to the authorities, to the police. Cases will be made, cases will be opened, people will be charged and prosecuted.
Yeah, I agree. I agree fully with you. Because same here. Because if you getting, let's say, some money from the one side and you get money from the party or from somewhere else, you're not supposed to get money from you only supposed to get one salary, whatever. That's wrong. The party was supposed to say, yep, cheers. Not happening. And why not? Well, why is the party so, how can I put it, lenient on that?
Hmm.
Why is the party not doing the right thing? They've written it. It's in the constitution. If the constitution say if you're wrong, and that's it. Why go against the constitution then to say, listen here, if you made a mistake, yeah, you need to go, but that's it. Cheers, bye bye. Achache. But it's not happening. Why not? Are they scared? I don't know. Are they covering for each other because maybe the one knows too much about the other person's skeletons in his closet? I don't know. Or is it, as you said, I look after you, you look after me, because I need your vote to sit up here. Because without your vote, I'm going to have Frikkie coming in and he's going to say no to me. And now I've got not a job.
Yeah.
It's about the money. Follow the money. The money is the main thing here.
Money.
Yep.
Money is the root of all evil. So
Yeah, but
money is the root of all evil. And my
yeah.
name is evil, so give it to me.
Give it to me and I will show you what I can do with this money. Some
No,
people just get this money and I tell myself, you know what, Nick? I can do better with that salary and I can do better for the people. I can do better for the party. But yeah, people like me, you, Kobus, and the rest, whatever, we are we are evil. That is what we are. We are
you know,
evil.
my salary that I earn as a counselor puts me in a very good position where I have the ability to like help with doing community
Mm.
cleanups more extensively, supplying more things, where I have the
Yeah,
ability to go do the further activism that I do with the Bittereinders and
yeah,
all of that. It puts me in a position where I have more power to do more for my folk, more for my
yeah,
people, you know. And my lifestyle is minimal, but I mean, you want to know what car I drive now? You know those little boxy Suzuki Espresso.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I drive one of
yeah.
those now. that thing is so light on fuel. I can get like 25 k's to a liter. It's just when I drive to Pretoria and the wind blows, because it's box shape, it's like holds it back.
Yeah.
But I drive that is 150,000 rand car. You know, it's
Yeah.
cheap. It's like it does the thing. You know, and I don't need to drive a fancy car like some of these people.
Yeah.
BMW.
Audi, Mercedes Benz.
No, I just
Yeah.
need somebody. I just need something that is going to get me from point A to point B. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a pretty small car. It is an inconvenience to have a small car. I would have
Yeah.
loved to have had a bigger car, but yeah, it's. I don't need a fancy lifestyle. You know, I'm here to if I can save an extra 3 or 4 thousand rand a month on a car, and rather take that money to put myself in an ability where I can go and do more activities for my folk and more activism,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
then I'll do that. That 3 or 4 thousand will go to a good cause. You know, I don't need to be selfish and just elevate my lifestyle because I earn a fat salary. No, 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 no. Half my salary goes towards charity.
Look, my work which I do to the community is for free. It's a free community basis what I'm doing for the community. I work to provide a roof over my head, food on the table. That is what I do. So basically, I'm doing still my own job, and I'm doing a free community work as a community activist for the people here between Ward 6 and Ward 7. So then you get these people that get this salary and they actually do squat.
Exactly. You know, I mean, it's like if you were working as a counselor, it would put you in an easier position because now you're earning a salary, give it, and you have more time in the community. So now you don't need to do the other job. So now you can focus more on the community.
Yes.
So it puts you in
Yes.
a good position, you know. So yeah, the guys in Parliament, you know, I actually heard the other day that apparently Gayton McKenzie, our sports minister, apparently Gayton McKenzie donates his entire salary to charity.
Yo.
And Gayton is someone who comes from poverty. Gayton is someone who comes from the lower echelons of society. Like I heard a chat about, like a little talk where he was giving about, you know, he went to prison because he got involved in gangsterism and other things that were not good. But that guy is possibly one of the most honorable members of parliament, donating your whole salary to charity. And parliamentary members earn 100,000 a month. They have no
Yo.
excuse not to do good in society.
But they're not doing it. They just sit back and land. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where we're gonna end up. I don't know how. And that's what makes me so frustrated at the end of the day is that I don't know how to help my people anymore. I'm trying my best where I'm sitting to get the little fund or what I won't call it funding, but the little power that I've got, that small little bit, I'm trying to stretch out to help the people. And that's not enough. That's not enough. When Saturdays comes, I still do my chores at home and I still help the community outside there to get things done. Just like today. Today I had 3 meetings. And I was sitting with listening to the community and I was listening to the problems and that is why I said I wish that the Faith Front could have sit with me and just sit and see what the people are going through every day. It's scary. It's it's heartbreaking to listen to some of the stories there. And you're right. They sit at the top and they've got no cooking clue what's going on the floor. It's hell for the people. And it's not just the ballot bill and it's the way of living that's coming through, especially next year that we want to have this hike with electricity. That's going to kill a lot of people, old people that get SASSA money. It's about the fuel increases. It's about the food. There's no hospitals where they can go to which is safe anymore. Um, Proper treatment. When you find the police, you've got problems. You can't get hold of them. Metro police, it's almost a no go. You can't take your children to the parks anymore. Then you've got electricity that goes down. You don't got water problems. You've got everything. And I'm sitting and I'm listening to these things, and I thought to myself, you know what, Nick? How do I help these people? But you've got these people that's in charge, that's got this fucking salary, that does absolutely squat. But then they want to sit with a Facebook, I was here. Click, I was here. Click. Okay, you were there. What did the people say?
Yeah,
What
Vincent,
did they say?
we got a comment here from one of your community members attesting to your work. So thank you very much for the comment. And yeah, Vincent, you got people watching.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it a
Yeah,
lot. But
but
yeah, that's all in a nutshell. That's all in a nutshell.
here's a funny comment about you.
What does it say? I can't see now here exactly what. Food and nothing. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's good things to see the community members here coming on on the channel and attesting to, that's the one thing. Like, my brother is the same. My brother is in Rustenburg. If we got any viewers from Rustenburg, please do leave a comment if there's any Rustenburg viewers. And if any of you here know Andre, our ward matters in Azalea Park, in Ward 17. There's an organization called Our Wards Matters. That's my brother, Andre. Okay? That guy, he doesn't get paid, but he's working in the community, and he started this thing out of his own. He was a member of the FF Plus, and the FF Plus gave him a blind eye, and they just left him on his own things and didn't want to help with the cleanups. Now Andre has got his own organization, non-profit organization that does the town cleanups, and he's out there. And Andre has got a messed up hip, so he can't be on his feet all day. But he's still out there with a messed up hip, needing a hip replacement. That guy is
And
out
still
there.
doing the job.
No questions asked, and it's like, his whole thing is like, what he says, imagine what extra I'd be able to do if I get into council and I earn a council salary. I said, well, for one, save money and fix your hip, so then you can do more in the community.
Yeah. But yeah, Liam, I
Yeah,
don't know. Maybe in the perfect world out there, somebody will hear us and say, you know what, guys, you're right. You're right. And this shit needs to stop. These problems need to be fixed in a perfect world. But yeah, I hope. That's why I always say, I've always got hope. I've always got that small little. For me, is I keep the negative side open for negativities, for that part that will put you down to life, whatever. But at the other side, I've also got the positive side that said things will get right. There will be a silver lining out there. And the people like me, you, Kobus, and the rest that has been so unjustified and unjustly been done in this life, that we will get to the top and we will make a better difference than what we've got at this moment for the community, for our Boer folk at the end of the day. I do
yeah.
believe that. That I
I
do
think
believe.
we're gonna make a difference. And you know what? Like, a lot of people I speak to, some people are like, have a feeling like this is quite tough. This has been a difficult thing. Like, I mean, even the other day, I spoke to TV Vessels, and TV Vessels, he said to me, "Hierdie ding met die vee voel sommer moedeloos." I said, it does sometimes. It feels like there's no point in carrying on. It feels like we should just surrender. But then there's a silver lining on the cloud, and you see that there's a breakthrough. So it's like any conflict anywhere. Wars are not won in a day. You know,
No, no.
you need to. Everything is a strategic one step at a time. Every day you take a strategic step forward, and yeah, there's days when you're cast back. With solving any issues anywhere, you need to take it and slowly work at it. It doesn't happen overnight. You know,
No, it doesn't.
you can't build a house in a day,
Nope.
you know, but you need to slowly work away at one step. Dig the foundation, pour the slab, let it dry and cure properly. Lay down the first bricks for the walls, or if you're building wood, the first boards and planks and whatever. So I mean, everything takes time. And with the VF Plus and this cleanup we're doing, um, we we'll get there eventually. It's just a matter of time and keeping consistent. Guys like yourself who are consistent in your community knows what you do. They will look after you. They will look after you because of what you do. Even when the party leaders come for you to try and push you out, your community will follow with you. That's the thing that the leaders of this party forget, is that each and every one of us who is a public persona in our respective areas doing our work has a following, has a community that backs and supports the work we do. And the party will lose the support of that community by pushing us out. They lose a lot of support by pushing Quibus out. They lose a lot of
Oh,
support
yes.
by pushing me out. They'll lose a lot of support by pushing you out, and many, many more. There are so many councillors and party members who are under fire at the moment. You know, there are even party members who recently phoned me who told me, yeah, they've also got a disciplinary hearing. I said, why? No, because they shared Quibus Hoffman's posts on Facebook, and because they supported me and they shared my posts as well. So by supporting this, so in supporting us who are speaking up against the rot, they
Yeah.
got themselves into trouble. But it's fine. They, you know, I just put them through to my lawyer that they can get that they can be represented by my advocate. My advocate is pretty damn good at what she does. Like,
Mm.
yeah, she really schooled them in the first disciplinary hearing. Oh my goodness, she made Heloise look like an idiot. Now, Heloise Dinar, member of parliament, has a law degree. She has a law degree, yet she got schooled on the law because she had no idea what she was talking about on some of the points. My advocate goes up there and be like, according to the law, it says otherwise to what you're saying.
Yeah.
So schooling them.
But yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, it is what it is. It's getting rather late now. I think we've been on the live stream for 2.5 hours. If anybody else who's watching has any other questions you'd like to ask, now would be the time to ask questions. And since we're closing off, a shout out to the Wittkruis Monument and the Bittereinders, who are not a sponsor at all, but they are people that I sponsor and support because it's a good cause. So you might have seen I'm wearing a shirt with a Wittkruis on it and a 4-color flag on the shoulder. I'll actually turn around that you can see the back of it. So it's got there genoeg is genoeg on the back, the Wittkruis on the front. Some of the shirts have got the Wittkruis Monument logo on here, which is like that. This is the Wittkruis map. So here on the back, it's got the Wittkruis Monument little thingy. You will have also seen I've got a Wittkruis patch over there on the shelf.
Yeah.
And then here also on the front, it's got a little cross and it says genoeg is genoeg. So for the viewers who would be interested, there is still left over from the last fundraisers for the Wittkruis Monument. There are still caps and there are still shirts left over. So if you guys want to buy a cap or a shirt, please do reach out to me on social media that I can put you through to the guys at the Bittereinders who handled this. For those who also don't know, that the Bittereinders basically have the mandate of the White Cross Monument. They look after the White Cross Monument. They're a big key player there. So yeah, if you want to support the Witkrys Monument, all funds raised by the sale of the caps and the shirts goes to the Witkrys Monument. So DM me on Facebook or Instagram and get yourself. And I mean, there's nothing more nicer than walking around in public with a shirt with a field clear. You know, I was in pub. I went out for lunch. I went out for lunch last Saturday with some friends, and I was wearing this shirt. And the four color sparked a conversation with some people, and they're like, "Where do we get these shirts? Like, we want a shirt
Yeah,
with
myself. I'm gonna get myself
with,
one. Oh yes.
with a field clear on the shoulder." Yeah.
I'm gonna get myself one of the shirts. I hope they've got an XXXL one. Yeah.
Anyways, just checking the comments. One of my viewers says he knows you, Nick.
Okay. Yes, he's in the UK. Yeah.
Yeah, Nick. He says he may have, like, I think an earlier one of the comments, he says he's probably spoken to you before.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's another friend of mine.
Oh, Nick used to live in Moinoi. Moinoi is right there near Rustenburg. So yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful area. My brother's actually got some friends that are in Moinoi on a little plot there. Beautiful place.
Now I've got another friend that was staying in Mango Park. He's also in the UK now. He's also there. I guess you should laugh at that shit with WhatsApp. Okay. So yeah, from the UK, eh? From the UK.
Yeah, look, we've got supporters everywhere. I mean, like, I've got guys on my social media, like on my Instagram, that DM me. Like I said the other day, yesterday was Stefan from Los Angeles. He grew up in Pretoria. Then I've got I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. It's either Constantine or Constantinius, or he's a Greek South African. Last name is like Resal or whatever. But
Yeah.
Constantine, okay, from Athens. We've got guys that are living in Athens, in LA, guys in London, guys that are there's actually, funny enough, Luton, which is a hot spot of the Tommy Robertson troubles. We got some guys in Luton, we got some guys in Yorkshire, guys in Amsterdam, guys in the US. Yeah.
The tentacles are out there. It's all over.
Yeah, the supporters that support us. There's the other day there was a guy from Madrid that DM'd me about supporting us. We've got guys in Brussels. Yeah, Brussels, Antwerp, The Hague, and Amsterdam. We got a lot of support there in the Netherlands and Belgium, but in Germany as well. So like I recently created, obviously, the WhatsApp group. So for anyone who's viewing right now who isn't on the WhatsApp group, go check in the description. There's the WhatsApp group and the WhatsApp channel and all my social medias. The WhatsApp channel is just like an anonymous forum where I send info, where you can then just follow the channel. The WhatsApp group is more interactive. So the WhatsApp group there, like, I can see who's members of it. So in that, on the WhatsApp group, we'll also put, it's more interactive. I'll put out more information and I like polls for stuff if we want to try different things and get feedback from you as my viewers. On the WhatsApp group, we have guys in the US. We have guys from Sweden, Switzerland, Hungary, Italy, Spain, and Germany.
That's quite a collection, man.
That are on, yeah. that are on that WhatsApp group that because I launched it like last week and put feelers out, and I got through my social media a lot of followers. So we've got a lot of people from overseas that do support the Boer cause and are interested in seeing what's going on here. So, and the guys in the US, one of the guys like DM'd me directly on Instagram, and he's like, "Look, I'm a South African. I'm in the US. Can I join the WhatsApp group?" I said, "It's an international thing. Just join it." You know? So we got. Firstly, we've got South African diaspora from across the world who are on that group now, who are following the channel. But then we've also got people of other nations that support us as well, that are like-minded, conservative, nationalist, fascist peoples. And, just got to love the support that's coming through. So, yeah, join the WhatsApp group. It's a little more interactive. Only admins can send messages, but will be putting up polls and stuff, info and whatever, if you guys want to ask questions. My number is on there, so then you can message me directly. I've got like an open door policy. People can directly message me and ask questions or make suggestions, So, yeah. But anyways, I think I'm going to bring the live to an end now. Vincent, anything else you want to say before we close off the live?
I've already put everything out in a nutshell. As soon as I get more, I will phone you and then keep the rest of everybody up to date and speed as soon as I get more items and more things out there. But for this, but I do my investigations.
I'm laughing at Nick's. Nick, just send me WhatsApp me a photo so I can see what she looks like first. I mean, I am single at the moment.
Yeah, actually, Nick send me the picture as well. I can't remember. Let me just see the face again so I can see exactly. But yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what? It's funny actually. Seeing that comment now from Nick. When Francois was arrested in Groblersdal, and he built a big name after he came out. Francois had about like 5 different people being like, "Yeah, my daughter is like big Boere." Like a huge Vrystaat Boer is like, "Oh, my daughter, she's more single. Sy kort 'n ordentlike man, jy's 'n ordentlike volksman."
A boereman.
Ja, like other oom is like, "Ja, nee, my buurman, hy het 'n mooi dogter, sy's single, baie mooi, jy weet, ordentlik, sy kom saam 'n plaas, hy het geen seuns." And it's like, he had 5 different people trying to arrange marriages for him. So, I mean, it happens when you get a name. You get people like, "Hey, my daughter's pretty beautiful. You're a decent. I like you."
You're single. Why not? Yeah.
Something that I found funny, that I found quite funny, is I always tend to sometimes I'll meet a girl, and it's like, we hit it off well, and then I meet her dad. And then it's like, she doesn't want me to visit the house anymore because I spend more time talking to her dad than her. I mean, it's important, okay? The father is a very important thing, okay?
Definitely. Oh, yes.
If
you can get past the father, then you're home free.
Exactly.
Then you're home free.
Okay, we're going to end the stream soon. I'm just going to read the last comments from Nick here. A patch for my jacket, White Cross Monument. I'll find out about the White Cross Monument patches. Now, obviously, sending stuff from South Africa to the UK is a bit of a difficult thing, but I actually want to do a collab with War Dog. So War Dog is one of the previous sponsors of my activities. War Dog Actual UK. So War Dog makes really cool T-shirts and that. They mostly sell for the American and the European markets. So now I want to see if I must actually talk to Nick, because if you want to actually, as a UK citizen, get your hands on an old South African flag, and even for Woods redesign or other historic flags, Nick has got the guy's name is also Nicholas. War Dog has got that sorted. War Dog has got a bunch of different cool T-shirt designs. He covers also a lot of military. Everything is military themed. So he does a lot of like Commonwealth military stuff. So he's got stuff from the Falklands War, stuff from the Australians, stuff from the Americans, but a huge array of South African stuff because obviously the guy's from South Africa. He's an expat living there in the UK. So War Dog, actual, check out their stuff. Pretty cool. He's sponsored me with t-shirts before in the past. He has actually spoken to me about a sponsorship for my next Stop Talk, sending me some cool new t-shirt designs and stuff. So yeah. Also for the South African market, he does have a small variety of things that is available on the South African website that is produced in Johannesburg. So yeah. But anyways, all right. Thank you for everybody that tuned in to watch the live. Please join the WhatsApp group. If you have any further questions, you're welcome to directly WhatsApp me or DM me on Instagram or Facebook so that we can, interact. We're men of the people. We're men of the people.
Yes.
We talk to the people. I think Vincent, you're also on the WhatsApp group, aren't you?
Yes. I'm on the group.
Vincent's on the WhatsApp group, so you can find his number there as well if you want to chat with him. So, yeah. Anyways, cheers to all the viewers.
Adios. See you guys. Bye-bye.